You're listening to episode 200 of the Comics Pals. We're a group of comic book journalists and friends who record a podcast together because we don't talk enough about comics in our daily lives.
Oh my God, I can't believe we made it 200 episodes. And you know what? After 200 episodes, I finally tried some of those Marco chewable enemas that we used to sell in the PAL store promoted on the first episode.
Oh,
Not bad.
Honestly, I do not know how they got past the FDA or the EPA. Honestly, I thought I was going to turn into the Swamp Thing.
Is that what you were calling your butt that morning? Or
Right. Can't turn into the
butt that
Swamp
day.
Thing, but he has swamp ass.
That's right.
So wait, what flavor did you try?
Honestly, it was like a weird combination of grape and apple. Grapple.
Grapple. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, really strange. It did not feel good. But you know what? It was chewable.
Lives by the name.
Yeah, that's all it promised to be.
Oh, Jesus.
We're lucky I'm here, honestly. I don't know why we used to sell that on the Palace store.
You know, different time.
That's all right.
It was a simpler time.
Yeah, not necessarily our best idea, but we got this far, right? So
That's right.
couldn't
Off
have
the
been
same
We
hit.
got this far. Even though we played Jeopardy on episode 100, somehow we got through that. That was okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that it was okay.
I feel like
Okay.
okay is exactly how I would describe it.
I might say it was a dumpster fire, but you know, that's just me.
I think it's pronounced moderately successful.
Well, you know, I think moderately successful is about how I would describe this podcast. And
Hey.
that success is due to you guys that are listening right now. We wanted to make this episode a celebration, not just of us, but of you guys as well. We have quite a few, just tons of listener comments. We commissioned you guys to, you know, submit any thoughts that you might want to share on the show. And a bunch of you came through over on our Discord server, which you can join. There will be a link in the description. That is absolutely the best place to speak with us. Join in on any conversations you hear on the show that almost always get carried over onto our Discord server. And it's a great group of people. And you're going to hear from some of those people today. We have a lot of comments coming from them and a few fun surprises, too, that are going to be mixed in, as well as the long-promised, finally delivered Newlywed Game. We will be playing that today. I should say we will be inserting the audio for you guys today. Kale is absent from the 200th episode.
Can you believe?
Unfortunately. But he does make an appearance in the Newlywed Game. It wouldn't be the same without him.
Right.
I needed true competition. And, you know, it came from Kale, or at least I thought it would.
Well, you'll have to see who won, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
we'll just have to see.
Anything could happen. Somehow Marco and Mariana might win. You never
That's
know.
right.
Robbed of at least 2 points, but
But maybe it didn't matter, right?
That's right.
So before we get into all that, of course, want to let you guys know where you can find us. I already mentioned the Discord server, but you can always write to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com. You can get us on social media at The Comics Pals. And if you're on YouTube, thank you very much. We appreciate your support, whether it's from episode 199 or episode 1. Thank you so much for, you know, joining us and keeping us in business over there. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to our channel. Leave us a like, drop us a comment, share with your friends so that they know we're out here and that you like what we do. Now, I want to share with you guys some stats. I did this on our 100th episode, and I wanted to share with you guys the progress of this podcast and how we are doing since our 100th episode.
What's my 3-point shooting percentage?
Miserable, I'm sure.
Damn it.
So keep in mind, as I share these with you, the 100, I'm going to tell you what the stat was at 100 episodes and what it is now. The 100 episode stat represents about a year and a half, almost 2 years worth of our show. And what I'm sharing with you now represents only 1 year. So to start, on SoundCloud, at the time of episode 100, we had 10,000 listens. Now, again, just 1 year, 56,000 listens.
Wow.
So
I thought it was going to go down to 3.
that is a massive increase.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Over on YouTube, we had 921 hours of watch time. And again, that is in the span of when the show started to a year and a half later. In only 1 year, we have 818 hours of watch time. So that doesn't account for any that's only just 1 year. And we actually had a YouTube hiatus. So who knows what that number would look like otherwise. Also on YouTube, 8.7 thousand views in that span of time and 102 subscribers in that span of time. So thank you guys for that. That is huge. Those are numbers that we're really proud of and happy with. And we hope that in a year and a half or 2 years or whatever, when we get to episode 300, we can share with you even bigger numbers than that. So thank you. But I also wanted to reflect. I mean, of course, such a big milestone. You're going to reflect on, things that are different, things that have stayed the same since our 100th episode. And so I took some time and I really thought about it. And I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I thought about as I was reflecting.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, let's see. What has stayed the same? Well, the most obvious thing, Kale still misses more episodes than anyone on our show. But at least he's never missed a show to have sex. New Mutants still hasn't come out.
That's
since our 100th episode.
At episode 300.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It does have a release date, but it had one then. Back then, the video game pals was still a thing. Rest in peace. Pete has had at least 3 different hairstyles since then.
That's true.
I feel like that's conservative.
That's probably pretty conservative.
Well, I wasn't going to watch each and every episode we did, but, I had
at least twice as many colors, though.
I feel like if you just started watching recently and then you went back and looked at an old episode, you might not even realize that it was me.
To the point where Harris actually did comment
That's right.
on one of our episodes, Spring Heel Rick from the Discord, and said that Pete's hair was becoming a distraction.
Yeah, every week people were commenting, who's the new guy this time?
I gotta start putting our names on the screen. That'll help.
Well, yeah. And if you're watching, I don't know if other people can see this, but currently I see your name as Phil Casey. So that's the least helpful thing.
Can never have too many fills, baby.
Wonderful. So those are just a few things that I took note of that have either changed or remained the same since our 100th episode. I did leave one out, actually. All of Phil's opening bits since the 100th episode have been bad, including this one. So
subjective.
He's 0 for 100 on this round.
So you're saying my shooting percentage is bad?
Yes. In fact, it is. Now, before we move on, I do want to open the floor. If you guys have any things that you have recollected on and want to share with us, something that's changed or something that stayed the same since episode 100.
Yes, it's time to air the grievances. I have a lot of problems with you guys. No, it's been great. I've been really grateful. Yeah, just kind of wet fart there. No, I'm really grateful to be able to do this with you guys for another 100 episodes. People write into the Discord about how much we fool people into thinking that we're all friends.
Yeah.
And you know what? Lifting up the curtain this once, turns out we are friends. And it's really great to do this with people that you really care about every week. Because during a pandemic of all times, when people are in isolation and stuff, when you are able to spend time with your pals every week, it makes it okay. And for everyone that's listening at home, I hope you feel like you're one of the pals too, because you are. And you're part of our extended family.
Bringing that curtain down just a little bit. I, Phil, am excited for the next 200 episodes, unlike you, only here for the next 100. But
Got me.
But also super excited to have this community where we can chat about whatever, either in the Discord. You guys have awesome insight whenever you guys send us an email, a YouTube comment, something even on like SoundCloud. There's always stuff to talk about, and it's helpful that it builds a dialogue with everybody, because we always integrate that into the show, and that's the most fun. Getting the outside opinion is always interesting, because I've heard these four talk for the past like 3-4 years.
It's lucky you hear anything at all because of how loud Pete is.
Yeah, God bless you guys.
Huh?
Speaking of Pete, did you have any words you wanted to share?
Yeah, man. I think you asked the question specifically of like what's changed between, episode 100 and 200. And, I think so many things have changed, in my life especially, like I moved to a new city, I got engaged, I started a new job. But the one thing that has definitely remained the same has been getting to do the show with you guys, and getting to come together and talk to our community and talk to each other about comics and, all the geeky shit that we love to get into. And that constant in my life has been really important. It's provided a lot of stability and a lot of support. And, the relationships that we've made, through this show and through all the, great creators that we've gotten to meet, and, all of the, crazy interviews that we've gotten to do, and just all these like things that I never thought I would get to do, let alone something that we built together, based on our friendship, is something that I'll always be proud of. And, I am personally looking forward to episode 1000. So, I don't know.
And guess what? New Mutants will still not be out.
There might be the new Comics Pals by that point. I don't know how many of us will still be alive by episode 1000, but
we'll have Legacy Pals.
People will have to take up the mantle,
The new Comics Pals, dude. That's our rebrand. I'm hyped.
we do it until we're like, we're all in the nursing home, and then like we die and our children take over.
Bro, there's gonna be some street urchin kid who's gonna be trying to steal the tires off my car. He's gonna become my ward, and he's gonna be my surrogate on this show.
I thought you were gonna say he's gonna become your servant.
No, he's my ward.
Oh, okay, right.
Not Kale.
So I think the pals said it best, and I'll save the sentimental stuff on my end for a little later. I was just trying to have some fun and roast you guys. I don't know if you remember episode 100 that well, but on that episode, we discussed each other's worst takes.
Really?
No, I do remember that.
Yes, that was a lot of fun, and we're not going to revisit that today.
But I thought you were about to drag us for more things we said. That's what I was waiting for. Remember when you said this dumbass shit on episode 102?
No, I'll leave that to the listeners this time around.
Yeah, we don't have 20 minutes to waste, roasting Pete and Marco for being wrong all the time. Come on.
Whoa.
You're not even going to name drop Kale in that sentence? Come on.
No, he's not here.
God, please. That all the more reason.
The king of the garbage takes.
Yeah. Dude, if I feel like we could do an hour just on Kale's takes from the last 100 of these things that we've done.
You can't punch down all the time, Sean. My man can't box with God.
Oh, I love it. So speaking of the listeners, why don't we jump into a few of the listener comments? And I thought we could do this a little differently than we normally do. Normally, we just have Pete read them off. But since there are so many, I thought we could each read one or two or however it shakes out. But we will indeed start with Pete.
Awesome. So this first one comes from Kafis over on the Discord, who says, "Hey guys, I'm a relatively new listener, but I enjoy your tackling of socially relevant topics. It's also really enjoyable to listen to your debates on comics. I really like getting different opinions on story, art, process, etc. And it's really clear that you're all good friends."
Fooled him again.
Thanks for writing, Kafis.
Yeah, thank you, man. That's really nice of you to say. You've been a really cool guy and a great addition to our, the extended Pals family, especially over on the Discord. So thank you very much. And hope you're enjoying listening to Coheed and Cambria right now.
Nice.
Yeah, glad to have you with us.
All right. Phil, why don't you read this next one?
Okay. This comes from our dear longtime friend, longtime listener, Harris. He says, just Canadian Wolverine, favorite bit. That's true. Canadian Wolverine has been a recurring, friend of the show for a long time now. He's one of the highest profile people we have on the show. I actually was able to convince him to come on today.
Oh,
wow, really?
Yep. Hold on, let me get him.
Wow, he's so much shorter in real life.
Oh, what's going on, hosers? Oh, I've had a really busy week. I went to the maple syrup factory where I watched molasses.
Wow.
I was in tune with the beavers. I actually have a new segment for your show today.
What's
What's
that,
it called?
Canadian Wolverine?
The segment's called What's Alpha Flight Up To, eh?
I was just wondering about that.
That's where you play the music. Anyway, okay, hosers. This week in Alpha Flight news, someone at the local Tim Hortons, for you Americans, that's like a Dunkin' Donuts, down where I live here in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan, was being rude to the barista. She told him she didn't have change for 3 toonies. Those are $2 coins up here in Canada for you Americans. So he got real sore with her. He said, I crossed all this white stuff to get here. So the Alpha Flight got there a little bit late because, Puck, he forgot his jean jacket. Anyway, they scolded him pretty good, eh? He eventually said, sorry. They broke up the conflict. Everything was peachy. That's it for Canadian news this week. That's all that happened. That's what Alpha Flight's been tackling.
All right.
Wow. Thanks so much, Canadian Wolverine. And let us know about that molasses.
Oh, it runs through my veins.
Thanks a
Snick
lot.
Bob.
Appreciate you, Canadian Wolverine. Sorry to any Canadian listeners who might be offended by that.
Oh no.
Grab a 12 or a Molson's, all right?
I think the next listener, Sultan of Swing, is Canadian.
We can anticipate his grievances being shared on episode 201. But for now, Marco, why don't you read his comment?
So Sultan of Swing says, big fan of the show. A lot of trades and collections I've recently picked up have been mentioned on the show. Swamp Thing, Sandman, Invincible Compendium 1. The book club episodes and the comic reviews are the best part. Though you guys are definitely underappreciating Strange Adventures. Also, I apologize for suggesting Marco read Onslaught, as it has clearly broken his mind. Bro, I told you this in the Discord. It's good.
He's lying.
I'm not, is the thing. Guys, we need to come back to this book. It's honestly, I swear to you, it's given me some sort of appreciation for 90s comics. And
Marco, stop talking and take off your headphones for a second. I got to talk to the other pals here.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no worries.
Guys, what are we going to do about this? This guy, our friend Marco, his brain is broken.
This is getting really concerning. This is like when you have a friend that likes jazz and then they get really into avant-garde jazz and it's just noise. And it's like, dude, you're going to a dark place.
I don't know, guys. I feel like Marco's always had a broken brain.
That's fair.
He's got that daddy's little monster syndrome. I don't mean to diagnose anyone, but
okay, Mark, come back, Marco. Put the headphones on.
Marco, don't worry. We'll get you the help you need, brother.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I mean, I don't need any help because I have been appreciating Strange Adventures, unlike some of y'all been sleeping on that book. So I don't know. Maybe Onslaught's just good.
Sultan of Swing, thank you a lot. You're another one of those people who's been a very welcome addition to our family here. And you are now etched forever in our lore because you were the person who made Marco read Onslaught.
You're the man who committed a murder.
This is Marco's supervillain origin story. You were the catalyst.
I've always been a villain.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really glad to hear that you appreciate our book clubs as well. We really try hard to make those good each and every time we do them. And to know that it's someone else's favorite thing that we do is very gratifying. So really appreciate that, man. And I think, Pete, we're going to have you read for what comes next.
Should I take my...
It's time for the random question of the week!
Guys, I think there's like a cat dying or something.
That Swamp Thing.
So yes, it is indeed time for the random question of the week. And since you blew our ears out and we can no longer hear, why don't you read the question itself?
Okay. So, Ryan writes in and asks, what other comics that have a reputation for being bad do you guys think are actually not that bad? I don't think Identity Crisis is as bad as people say, but it's not fantastic.
First of all, I think Identity Crisis is fantastic. And it might be time for us to do a book club on that book because I feel like there's been so much shade thrown at this book that I feel is undeserved. So I would really love to get a book club in on that one. And I think that a lot of you guys might appreciate it because are there any people here who haven't read it?
I haven't.
Oh,
me neither.
Marco, have you? Oh, nope. There you go. All the more reason to go ahead and do that. So I think you can expect that in the future.
Cool.
I don't, and you know what? I wouldn't say it's a book that has a reputation for being bad. I think it's a divisive book. I think it's a book that people either love or hate, and there's no middle opinion on it. So I think it's just a polarizing book, not a book that's generally considered bad or anything like that.
I don't know, man. When I first read it, the reason I bought it was because of how much praise there was. And that opinion has turned over the last 12, 13 years, I feel like. Even Kale,
Maybe.
Someone who said he loved it now, decries it. So I don't know.
Yeah, he read it for the long box, right? And he was like,
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I have my answer kind of locked and loaded here.
Good.
I think that the kind of most underrated book that gets undeservedly shit on is Dark Knight Strikes Again.
What?
Which was Frank Miller's 2001-2002 sequel of The Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
This book was decried for not being cohesive or anything. And you know what? It is truly not super cohesive. But what I think is really, really interesting about this book and why I think it holds up is I think it's like a pure form of artist expression. Halfway through writing this book, September 11th happened, and Frank Miller, who was living in New York at the time, had basically a meltdown, and it happens on the pages of this book. And like you could see when the art just becomes less structured and organized, and it's an example of like real life tragedy influencing something on paper that we're not always privy to. How often do we actually learn about something like that? And so it kind of adds like new layers of context and nuance as you read it, because it becomes a lot more meta. It feels less like a true sequel to Dark Knight Returns, which I can understand would rub people the wrong way, but it feels more in tune with like one of our most esteemed members of this industry, and Frank Miller, who helped elevate the medium to new heights, having his downfall. And so just from a purely historical and creative standpoint, this book is really significant, I think.
It's a good pick, man. I actually never read it because I heard it was bad.
Worth giving a shot.
I really like that answer.
Marco, listen, bro, you don't have anything. You can't say shit. You're reading Onslaught and you're like, oh, this bowl of shit soup is actually good.
Guys, because it's not a bowl of shit. It's at least a bowl of like somewhat stale Cheerios. Like it's enjoyable.
Dude, that would make you vomit, I feel like.
What? No, they're just a little like crusty.
You're a little crusty swamp ass.
So outside of Onslaught, I think for me, Mr. Miracle, like I remember thoroughly enjoying issue to issue the emotion that I had like reading them, and then the end wasn't necessarily what I expected it to be, but I don't think I think it was Sultan who made the point in the Discord that it doesn't always matter how a book ends because it doesn't necessarily impact the journey and like the story itself or that has been told. I think there might be like some the payoff might not necessarily be there, but that doesn't affect like the moments you've enjoyed. And I think that that's a book that I definitely want to return to. And
that's a book club book.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I was a book I really enjoyed week to week. If I remember correctly, that was my book of the year at the end of the year that year. I think 2017 or 2018.
I think so.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I also was very disappointed by the ending. So I would also be curious how like a single reading of these 12 issues or whatever would go.
Yeah.
So you would suggest that Mr. Miracle has a poor people look at it poorly?
From the reactions that I had seen when it was coming out, they were mixed, and then at the end a lot of it was just negative views towards the book overall. At least from what I'd seen on like Twitter and reactions and stuff.
Sure. Pete, do you have a pick here?
I've been like I'm like looking at a bunch and like trying to find one, and I think like one of the best ones I can come up with, I don't even feel like I can really stand by because I haven't read it in recent years, but like I really liked The Killing Joke as a teenager, and I know that that's another book that I think similar to the DC book that you just outlined. What's it called?
Identity Crisis,
where like the sentiment on it has cooled over time, and now people kind of look back on it as like a relic in like a bad way, so that I guess that's my answer, but I'd kind of like to read that book again for the same reason and see like how do I feel about it now, like would my opinion change?
Interestingly, even Alan Moore I think has sort of gone back a little bit on that book where he's mentioned that there are some things there that are dated.
In fairness, he does that with like every book where he's like, I don't stand by this. Comics are shit.
Now buy my comics.
Except Jack Kirby, he's good.
I think I don't know. My answer is one that people might kind of like, make a funny face about, but I feel like sentiment about this book has definitely changed, and that would be Civil War.
I thought that's what you might say. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
No way. I thought it's like still like up there.
I mean, I think it is, but I feel like a lot of people have changed their tune about it.
Huh.
Partially because people now feel like they don't like dark books as much, and Civil War was very dark. But I also think, when you talk about politics and comics, that's one of the most political books ever published by Marvel or DC, and a lot of people don't want to read that kind of thing. So I would pick Civil War. And also, can I just point out a testament to my willpower that in 200 episodes we have not done a Civil War book club?
Yeah, and in 200 episodes we've never done a Swamp Thing book club. It's really just chill. I'm glad we've been able to resist our urges
until now.
Until
Tuesday.
So by episode 300, Civil War. Look out for it.
Maybe sooner than that.
Ooh.
All right, so hopefully that satisfies you there, Ryan, and we will hear from Ryan again. But we do actually have another random question. This one I will read. This is from JMan313. And he asks a simple question. How do y'all feel about recoloring comics? Marco, can you add context?
Yeah, so we were talking about Swamp Thing. I was asking for questions in the Discord for the book club, and he brought up how the Absolute hardcover, which is recently released, which covers the first 2 arcs of Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, has actually been recolored. So the original colorist Tatiana Woods was replaced, and they sort of modernized some of the coloring in it. And I had no idea. I thought it was just a compendium of those first 2 stories. So I thought it was really interesting. It was done because they had a higher quality of stock paper, so they were able to adjust some of the things there. I'm glad that you brought up The Killing Joke, Pete, because that's a book that I didn't realize had been recolored when I first read it. And then when I did find out, I went back to read it, and I was like, why would they do this? Like, there's so much like dynamism there. There's so much with the colors that they've done. I preferred the original to the to what they had done in the updated version. And then the person who recolored Swamp Thing, who actually recolored Miracle Man / Marvel Man, was Steve Oliff. And I mean, there's just like a stark difference in the emotion, I think, that you don't always get with adding modern colors, like quote unquote, whatever modern colors are. Sure. I think that the limited color palette back in the day, where you had less quality paper stock, you had to sort of abide by simpler palettes. I think it forced people to be really inventive about the way that they could portray scenes and can portray energy, where now you have this huge range of palettes. You can make things a little bit more realistic, but obviously comics aren't necessarily always reflective of reality. And I think that's the biggest advantage of them. One of the things that I mentioned in the Discord that I would have preferred is something like Sandman to be recolored, because I think there are moments where it feels a bit sterile for me. Things are all grays or washed out, and there could be a lot more energy brought to a book. So I think for me, it sort of really depends on what the book is, the sort of context and genre that it's about, and how they're redoing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I feel pretty similarly to that, where like I think it's very like based on how it's being released and like how they're portraying it. Like if it's very much, like this is a special edition with new colors, not a replacement of the original version, then like I'm down for that,
Mm-hmm.
And I can think of a few examples where I've actually enjoyed stuff like that quite a bit. Like I know, I think it was for some anniversary or something, they re-released Scott Pilgrim with colors, and It was like, oh cool, like that actually enhances the book in a way, and it makes the reread of it, if you have a desire to do a reread of it, like feel different. It's like a new reason to come back and experience it again with fresh eyes, and I think that's really cool. And like they're doing the same thing with The Walking Dead now, where like they're reprinting it in color. And I've kind of been thinking like, oh, it would be nice to reread that book. Maybe this is an excuse, right? So I think like when it's used in that way, I'm down for it, because I feel like it, as long as you can still enjoy the original, then like there's no harm in doing another version, and kind of giving it a fresh coat of paint. But
yeah,
I think like when like you have the joke that the situation you ran into with The Killing Joke, I feel like that's like a little bit like I'm with you on that, where I would rather read the original, because I feel like that's a part of what it was, like
right.
That's a part of what made it what it was. So like, if it's just a recoloring and like this is the reprint and we're not gonna make a thing of it, then that kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. It feels like
Right.
erasure, I guess, of the original a little.
I don't like it. I personally, it feels like redoing history, I guess. Like, what if like they rewrote it? Like, how would that sit with people? And it's not like, so Killing Joke. What if it was like, okay, you know, we've decided that book has problematic elements in it. So what if we just took someone and just rewrote over it? It'd feel
Right.
like you're erasing history. And it's not as extreme as, I mean, that's maybe a little more extreme than doing recolorings of a book, but they were colored that way at the time. And it never really sits well with me when we start to redo it. And frankly, I don't think it looks good. It looks obvious that it's been recolored. Like, I've read books that have had new colors, and like it doesn't blend well with the rest of the art. So, because oftentimes it's digital, and when at the time when we're doing these older books, these aren't done digitally.
Right.
So yeah, I whenever I find out they're reprinting a book and it has new colors, it never sits well with me, and it immediately becomes like a do not buy for me.
Marco just sent us the Swamp Thing version,
and it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look good. No.
Yeah, we spent a lot of page on this in the book club. So when that drops, you guys can like check out that discussion. But yeah, this is like tomorrow. Yeah, this is definitely like it just looks off and not as dynamic compared to what we read.
I 1,000,000% agree with Phil. I think it's actually disrespectful.
Yeah.
Comics are made by a team of people, and when you're talking about a book, especially something as thoughtful as Swamp Thing, where the creators clearly went into that with a specific, idea in mind. Every element of that book is whatever we're seeing, it's deliberate. And so to go back and change that is just kind of like stepping on whatever the original intention was. I think there are instances where it could be acceptable, especially if the original creators are the ones who are like doing it. So in the instance of Walking Dead, it's most likely that Robert Kirkman is choosing to have the book colored, and not that Image is saying this is what we're going to do. But there was deliberation and deliberate intent behind it being black and white. So for it to now be color, if that's not the creator's choice, that's not cool.
Yeah.
So for that book, it's one thing, but I think in every other case that I've ever heard of or seen, I think it's screwed up. And it's just like Phil said, what if you had someone else write it? What if you had someone come and like redraw the pages? It's just not. I think it's disrespectful, personally. So yeah.
Kale, who's not on the episode, says, I'm not crazy about it. Do you guys like it? I don't know, Kale. Maybe you should have been on the episode.
That's right. You want an opinion, you got to have a mic in your face. So that actually brings us into our first surprise of the episode. And it's actually a surprise to us as well, because we didn't know that this was going to happen. I'm really excited. Why don't we just go ahead and put that surprise on the screen? We're going to have to put it up for you guys on YouTube so you can see it as well. For you audio-only listeners, you'll be able to hear it. But yeah, let's get into that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Who could this be?
Hey there, Sean, Pete, Phil, and Marco, otherwise known as the Comics Pals, sans Kale Ward. Kale asked me to give you a shout out and congratulate you on recording your 200th episode. And who the heck am I? Well, I'm this guy. Joshua Seth, voice of Ty on Digimon. And congratulations, 200 of anything is amazing. I didn't have like a happy 200th episode bag or anything, so I just did birthday. But it's like amazing that anybody would produce 200 episodes of anything. So since you are, into comics, and it's a comic book podcast, and by the way, Kale Ward, although that could be pronounced Calais. So if that's not how it's pronounced, I suggest that be Kale's new nickname. Kale, Calais, whatever, said it's a comic book podcast. So guess what? Well, look what I found for you guys. It's episode, what is it? It's not episode, it's volume 1. It's the first comic, okay? It's the first Digimon comic. I've had this for a long time, like almost 20 years. And in fact,
Been that long?
when I first moved here,
It's not in a bag. He's
I
shaking
know
it
I have
around.
more
What's he doing?
somewhere, and I've been unable to
worse.
find them. But I do have this one. Okay, I have like a whole series of these because I did like a signing agreement with Dark Horse Comics when they put these out. That I would sign all the first batch of them. I think I did like hundreds and hundreds. I remember I had like a cramp in my hand, like in that old Seinfeld episode where he's signing all those 1-cent residual checks. I never did a signing agreement with anybody after that. However, I kept this one. I held it back. So here it is, Digimon, Dark Horse Comics, Digimon Digital Monsters, #1, Dynamic Forces, Watch Fox Kids, my name, Joshua Seth. And I will read to you for your 200th episode.
Look at how he's holding the
celebration.
comic.
The first page in the Thai voice. So here we go.
God, he's reading.
Digimon,
Wow.
Digital
Amazing.
Monsters, Digimon are the champions. That's home, planet Earth. But I'm not sure that's where I am right now. Let me back up a little. It all began when the climate went completely out of control. The rainforest dried out, and cities which are normally blazing hot got super cold. Wow, Digimon was ahead of its time. At the time, I didn't know any of this was going on because I was at camp enjoying the summer sun. There he is in the tree, just like in the very first scene of the very first episode of the very first season of Digimon. That's it. Or that is until it started to snow in the middle of July. And it gets weirder. Digimon is a show about climate change, if you think about it. Oh, and by the way, my name is Ty. And so it begins. So there you go, comics pals. A special reading of the Dark Horse comic #1, Digimon, for you. Congratulations on your 200th episode.
All right. Thank
that
you
was
so much,
awesome.
Joshua Seth, for
Thank you, Kale.
congratulations. Thank you, Kale, for paying for the cameo.
Thank you, Ty.
Really appreciate that. That was very cool. Obviously, big Digimon fan here. Marco as well. I think we all have some kind of relationship to it. So,
Nope.
all right. Well, Phil, you're excluded.
Phil's a
yet
fucking
again.
dork. He played like hockey in school or whatever instead of watching cartoons.
Nerd.
Nerd.
I don't support that.
Hockey?
Phil. So, yeah. So again, thank you again. That is very cool. I am excited to show that to quite a few people in my life, yeah, that's awesome. So let's jump into the Pals Pulls here. 200th episode Pals Pulls special. Same thing we do every single week. So for Marco, we've got Lock and Key Impale Battalions Go. What is that?
So Lock and Key typically does like little offshoots of the original series where they sort of go back in time and explore other eras where people had access to the eponymous keys. And I love these side stories. I think they are sometimes the most impactful. I remember one in particular actually like made there was a collection of just these separate issues, and they actually made me like just weep. And I'm super excited for this. This is always a good time. Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez, they are just like premier creators, one for horror and then also for this series. Like it's just incredible, and I love supporting them, and I love this book, so had to pick it up.
Nice. Very cool. So from Phil, we've got, which really should be on my list too, but Batman by Morrison, Omnibus #3.
Yeah, man. It's yours and I's favorite run of Batman.
Yes.
This is it. This collects the rest of the run. We go into Batman Inc. Basically all the stuff leading into the New 52. In fact, if you look at the cover, it has all the Batman Inc. stuff on there. All the global Batman when Batman decides to create like a global Batman corporation. I loved this part of his run. It was so fun. It was so creative. And it's a shame they didn't really follow up on it as much. But like after his run was over, they did stuff with the Batwing, because he was one of the original New 52 series. But I can't wait to pick this up. 3 omnibuses is a lot to ask for anyone, but this series is worth it. I think this is going to go down in the analogs and the Hall of Justice as the very best.
I hope you're right. I can't wait to pick this up as well. So I chose what is a book that I cannot even believe is finally coming out. You can add that to our list of things that have, I guess, stayed the same over the last 100 episodes. But Batman 3 Jokers #1 is finally dropping next week.
Unbelievable.
That is crazy. That is unbelievable. It's dropping on Tuesday because of DC. This is Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok, 2 of the best creators at what they do. And they are finally going to tell the story of, Batman learning about the existence of 3 different Jokers from the Mobius chair and what that means, what the implications are, what the differences are between them. And it's going to follow Batman, Batgirl, and Jason Todd and kind of like go through what they're going through as they deal with these 3 different Jokers. Of course, each Joker representing a different period in the history of the character. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. And Jeff Johns just doesn't do enough. And so anytime he does something, it feels important. So I can't wait.
Yeah. This was the New Mutants of comic books.
This was episode 102.
What?
This is New York Comic Con 2018.
What are you suggesting?
That's when we got the announcement. That's when we first reported on this thing.
Yes. However, the actual book itself was announced 2-3 years before.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, because when he found out about the Mobius chair or about the 3 Jokers in the Mobius chair was at the end of Darkseid War.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, this has been in the works since then.
Damn.
This is like 5 years in the making.
Absurd.
Yep.
It's insane.
Wild. So with that, we are actually going to go into a few more messages from you guys. And we have a very special one from someone who's been supporting us for quite some time now. That's Casey from the Comic Jam.
Hey there, Comics Pals. This is Casey from the Comic Jam in Spoiler Country. I just want to drop a line to let you guys know how much I appreciate your show. Each week I listen in as you guys give some of the best reviews and analysis on comics, and it really speaks to your integrity and honesty with how you do the reviews. It's really made me want to read a little bit more closely and pay a lot more attention while I read. So thank you guys for that. And I can't wait to see what you guys are doing in 200 more episodes. I'm going to raise my glass right now, which is 9 a.m. over here. So it
Hell
is Irish
yeah.
coffee. I'm raising it up to you guys in toast. And keep it going, guys.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Casey. Casey has, like I said, been a supporter for a long time. Did the show, but there was an audio issue to where we just were never able to put it out. But big supporter, big fan behind the scenes, and we're fans of yours, man. So hats off to you as well for what you guys are doing over there at the Comic Jam. Yeah, man, much respect.
We got to get you back on the show. Actually put it out this time.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Cool. So moving forward, we have a message from Catherine on the Discord server. I will read this one. I'm more new to everything here, and though I mostly post in Weeb Chat, I feel really happy that there's a group I can nerd out with who gets it and does it with me. I also enjoy Twitch a lot when I can get to watch. You're a good bunch, and I'm thankful to have been invited. It's a good time, and y'all have good discourse, and it's a good way to share thoughts and opinions respectfully. That's huge. Thanks for letting me be part of it all. Thank you.
Thanks for wanting to be a part of it.
Yeah. We really appreciate it for sure.
Someone for Marco and I to talk about Dragon Ball with in the Discord.
Yeah, definitely. That's been a lot of fun.
And then last but not least for this portion is a message from Snake of Talons. Phil, why don't you read this?
Sure thing. Just wanted to say that you guys are the best. Listen, we know. Congratulations on 200 episodes. Can't believe I've been listening to you guys since the first 10 were coming out. I'm glad to have a group of pals that I can always count on to enjoy my favorite medium of entertainment with. We're glad you're here with us.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. I mean, I remember you being, one of the earliest people to ever write in, to ever, say you like the show or anything like that. Yeah, you might have. Yeah, very well may have been the first. And thank you so much, man. Your support has meant a lot to me personally, and some of the great conversations we've been able to have over on the Discord server. You've been a huge part of this for sure. So really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for sticking with us.
I would love to know if there's anyone out there who isn't connected to us personally, like a personal friend who has been listening as long as you.
I don't think there is. I don't think there could be.
I'm interested to find out. That's pretty amazing. All right. So speaking of the first 10 episodes, speaking of someone who's been around for a long time, and speaking of things that haven't changed from episode 100 to 200, we're getting into the news right now. We are starting the only way we could. And the reason why I'm so happy about this is because not only is this perfect for episode 200, but it means that on our prediction show, I'm still right. Because Ben Affleck is returning as Batman in the Flash film.
This is so annoying. I had the point, damn it.
Batfleck Watch is back.
The return of Batfleck.
Oh,
can
amazing.
You feel it?
Batfleck.
Oh, this is amazing.
Oh my god. I hate it.
This is news that's coming just ahead of Fandome, which, by the way, for us right now, it is currently 12:30. The Fandome is starting here in just under a half an hour. And so whatever news comes out, I'm watching it. I'm going to be watching while we're recording here. Whatever news comes out in that time period, we will report on. But otherwise, you can listen to episode 201 for all the groundbreaking news that does come out of this event. Back to Batfleck. We already knew that Michael Keaton was going to be in this film, that he would be reprising his role as Batman for the Flash movie. But the news that Ben Affleck will be returning comes from Vanity Fair and is absolutely wild. Now Affleck himself hasn't actually spoken about, coming back or anything like that. But we did get word from director Andy Muschietti, who said He's a very substantial part of the emotional impact of the movie. The interaction and relationship between Barry and Affleck's Wayne will bring an emotional level that we haven't seen before. It's Barry's movie, it's Barry's story, but their characters are more related than we think. They both lost their parents to murder, and that's one of the emotional vessels of the movie. That's where the Batman kicks in. Now, that's awesome. Because Ben Affleck, I got to tell you, man, Ben Affleck might just be the greatest Batman on screen ever. Throwing it out there. Might be.
Well, thanks for listening to episode 200 of the Comics Pals. I think this is the last episode we're going to do.
So, I'm sorry. When are we bringing up bad takes again, Sean? I want to just make a note of this one.
Have you seen Batman Superman?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, Dawn of Justice?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
What?
Wait, guys. How far are you in your recording?
59:50.
Yeah.
Shit.
59.
I'm at 40.
How?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. It just stopped.
Yours got fucked
Oh,
up.
shit. All right. Well.
That's fine. I've got the video.
Oh, you have the
right.
audio. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna start recording. Can I sync with somebody really quick?
Sean.
Let's do it. One.
two.
Sorry. 1,
2,
1,
2.
Good.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, it's a good thing we have this new built-in backup system.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right.
So Pete joked about Sean having bad takes. Did you want to respond to that, Sean?
I did. I already did.
He already laughed at it.
Okay. What I find really touching about this movie is that they're finally giving Batman a brother. Barry Wayne is going to be a really good addition to the Bat family. Having a bat that can use, supersonic speeds, I think will be really interesting and hasn't been done before. I'm really excited for the new addition to the Bat family.
Okay.
Sometimes he does that, and I'm just like, I don't even know how to pull this up. Like I don't know how to get back on track here. Like you just throw me for a loop, man. I mean, honestly, like my biggest emotional reaction to this was like, fuck, Sean's gonna get that point. Because like at the end of the day, I don't really care about these movies anymore. Like I don't feel like there's like I liked Wonder Woman. I'm excited for the next Wonder Woman. As far as this, like if it's good, great. I don't have any expectation of it being good though. So it's like with this news, it's like, all right, cool. They're gonna go for like the multi-Batman thing. It seems like they're probably gonna try to do some cleanup here and reshuffle the cards. Let Affleck, maybe have like a good movie to send off the character in. Like, cool, great.
So
Pete,
this movie's definitely coming out.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Gonna have to fucking watch this movie. Batfleck's gonna be in it. Ugh.
Pete, come
Right.
on, dude. We've been doing this for 200 episodes. If there's one thing that's clear, it could be good.
That's a fact.
It could be. It could be.
Remember Venom?
Remember Venom. Remember Venom on episode 100. Phil said that if Venom came out and we all liked it and Pete said it was trash, then Pete was a liar. Now, I liked it.
I said I liked it.
Phil liked it. Marco, did you like it?
I did.
Okay, Kale doesn't count. Pete, did you like it?
I did.
Ah,
Well, I said I did. We sent a video to his brother to admit that I liked it.
so with that being said, when you talk about bad takes, you try to throw shade at me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is defamation. My client has never expressed anything other than the utmost support for this movie.
Thank you, Marco.
Take your bow tie off.
My counsel. Look, no, he's a sharp-dressed man. Look at him.
I'm prepared.
Marco's a criminal. So that aside,
I'm also not wearing
Pete,
pants.
I think we have to all be able to agree that Pete is disqualified from telling anyone
Oh.
that they have a bad take when my man basically campaigned about how bad Venom was going to be. And then like
Defamation.
Look, listen, Sean. I think what I proved in that was that I'm a man of integrity, and that I was wrong, and I admitted it. You know, like, hey, the marketing failed that movie. It sold me a movie that I didn't see. You know,
you like Saga, right?
sure, yeah.
So you know how they have that lion cat?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't need to say anything more.
Say no more.
So we mentioned DC Fandome and how it's going to be starting here very shortly for us. For you guys, it's already happened. But not all of it has happened, because recently announced was that they were making a major change to the schedule, that they were going to postpone panels for a second event. Now they have announced a September 12th event, and they're moving a ton of what was going to be taking place outside of their, like, it's called the Hall of Heroes, but it's like their Hall A type of thing. They're moving a lot of that over to this second event. So a lot of the stuff from like Watchverse, Kidsverse, Uverse, all that. And it's going to be called DC Fandome Explore the Multiverse. Very interesting that they choose to do that. And I wonder how much of that has to do with some of the major changes that's gone on at DC over the last couple of weeks.
Man, it's you know, that was like the crux of our episode last week, was talking about all that stuff. And I think to see this come like right after all that news, it's even if they're not related, it really, really paints like a poor picture of them right now, you know, of just how like disorganized it seems like they are lately.
Yeah, I agree with that. It seems like they're trying to reorganize and steady the ship. You guys talked a lot about it last week, so I don't need to go into all my opinions, but I think the point that was made, I believe it was by Pete, when you said that the wider audience, people who love DC movies, people who love DC video games, they don't know or care about all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
They know the product. You know, they know that there's a Suicide Squad game coming out. And that's the important thing. And when you think about the fan base of DC that's comics versus everything else, obviously the everything else bucket includes a lot more people. So if they're going to do an extension of the Fandome, and it's going to take place September 12th, and it's going to be more of the ancillary stuff, and they're taking the time to curate these announcements in such a way that they're able to eliminate all the things that won't be happening anymore and focus on the things that will be happening, I think if we can expect a clearer direction and picture for DC after the second event, then good. Because that's all we can hope for now, is like that they have figured out where they're going, because clearly they haven't known up until this point.
I think that's what's so concerning. You know, it's like, I feel like the episode where we first talked about the DC Fandome, you and I had both kind of expressed this feeling, Sean, of like, this seems like a great idea, but like it feels half baked even now going into it. You know, where they're like, oh, we're splitting it into two things and they're a month apart. It's like, what the fuck? It's tomorrow. Like, what are you talking about? And like, we talked about it last week about how they had to like cancel or shelve a bunch of panels that they paid money to produce and record because they fired a bunch of people. It's like, what are you doing? Like, how... It just speaks to how it doesn't seem like the different pieces of DC are communicating anymore, or like not well, right? Because like, not to be like callous about the people who got fired, right? But like, you would think if you're one of the powers that be, maybe we don't fire and announce that we're firing these people until a week after all the panels are over, so that we don't, you know what I mean? Like that's like inhuman, but it's good business. Like it speaks to the idea of having like a plan for what you're doing, not just like making random moves and like seeing where the fucking chips fall, you know? And that's what it feels like they're doing right now. It's wild. It's so wild.
You know, I'm actually I'm gonna say that I feel differently than that with respect to the firings. I've thought about it, and I actually feel like this makes more sense because now you've couched the firings in the pre-fandom. So once the fandom happens, everyone's going to be talking about how amazing it was, if it was amazing, and the cool announcements and everything else, and they won't be as focused on the firings anymore. Because again, so many of the people who are going to be excited about the things that are coming don't know about firings. They don't care about that. So the conversation around DC will change after fandom for sure, and I think it's better to have that be what comes out of fandom than the firings.
That's a good point. And to build on that point, I guess too, right? Like if they split this in 2 days, 2 events, and they're both successful, no one will remember that it was supposed to be one and they split it. They'll remember that there were 2 hype events. And they'll be like, that fucking new Suicide Squad game looks really cool. That Batman game that WB Studios is teasing looks really cool. We finally got to look at the Batman. That's what people give a shit about. Like, if we come out of this with hype trailers or hype footage from a game that people have wanted for like 5 years, you know, nobody's going to remember any of the drama or the bad press because our memories are so short about that kind of thing. We talk about that all the time. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So, speaking of panels, they did release the lineup of panels that we can expect. And it's pretty interesting. It's going to be starting with the Wonder Woman 1984 panel, just right off the bat, which is kind of interesting. And then the WB Games Montreal announcement will follow up right away. They have this timed to where everything is exact, which is kind of weird. The only reason I say it's weird is just because these are pre-packaged, I guess, a lot of them. And it's the same problem that San Diego had where there wasn't that opportunity for interaction. So which of these panels are you guys most excited about? For me, it's obviously the Chris Daughtry performance.
Yo, can you imagine if that was like one of the weird Sean things where he's like secretly a huge Chris Daughtry fan, and it's not a secret, it's just never come up?
Okay.
Oh no.
So that's not true. However, I will say this 200th episode, I will come out and say that his song "It's Not Over" is definitely a song I really like.
Okay. All right. No shade either way. If you were a huge Chris Daughtry fan, I wouldn't make fun of you. It's just a weird fact.
You would be within rights to make fun of me, because if you told me you were a big fan of Chris Daughtry, I would certainly make fun of you.
I was like, Daughtry fucking slaps, bro.
That would be tough.
So you're saying which are we most excited about from the Wonder Woman, the Batman, or the WB Montreal panels?
No, just the lineup itself.
Yeah.
If there's
okay.
anything that speaks to you.
I think I'm probably the most excited for the WB Montreal panel. I would have said the Rocksteady one originally, but now that like they leaked the Suicide Squad game is coming out, and it seems like it's going to be like a games as a service kind of thing, where it's like a multiplayer all online. So that really kills my interest in it. Not to say that they couldn't win me back by showing some cool footage or whatever, but like on its face, that isn't really my jam.
Yep.
Whereas like WB Montreal doing like another traditional open world Batman game, I'm all in for that because I didn't like Arkham Knight. So it's been since Arkham City that I've had like a good Batman game that I really enjoyed, and that came out like 10 years ago.
Was Arkham Origins any good?
I never played that one, but my roommate in college really liked it, and I know a few other people like Andy from the Video Game Pals, I think, was one of them who played it and was like, that game is Like people hated on it because Rocksteady didn't make it, but it's great.
Huh. Sean, did you play that one?
I did not play that one. I wanted to, but I, similarly to Pete, have heard people say it's trash. I've also heard people say it's really great. So,
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not very like accessible anymore because like it's you can still play it on the 360 or the PS3, but like they re-released all the Rocksteady Arkham games and didn't port that one over. So I feel like this is kind of their coming out party as like we're the new Batman studio. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like, and I would love for there to be like another good Arkham game. You know, I fuck with those first two games so hard. Like Arkham Asylum was one of the games that like got me back into gaming in like a hardcore way. So I'm really excited to see the future of that franchise for sure.
The there's supposed to be a Batwoman pilot for the I'm assuming the new season. I'd be interested to see what kind of comes out of that, especially considering
I guess not really a pilot, right? It'll be episode 1 of season 2.
Behind the scenes here.
that's impossible.
It says during the filming. Oh, they talk about like the creatives, the scenes, and they hear from creatives of that filming of the pilot episode. I wasn't sure if it was the original, or if it's gonna be like of whatever's coming out with the new stuff. I think that one was just like one that I had my eye on outside of some of the master classes. Isaac Goodhart's gonna be in one with Klaus Johnson, so
Nice.
they're gonna do a quick like talking about their craft, tips, tricks, and like breaking into comics. So I thought that'd be interesting.
That's not true. You're excited for the Snyder Cut of Justice League panel.
Bro, release the Snyder Cut.
There's a weird one on here that I don't really understand. CNN heroes, real life heroes in the age of coronavirus.
That like I read that headline, man, and I was like, come on, dude. The age of coronavirus, like it makes it sound like it's a DC event. Like
It does.
Crisis of Corona or something.
Corona crisis.
Corona crisis.
Yeah, that one is a little confusing to me. I think I guess the one that I'm most interested in is the one that has to do with comic books, because for the most part, it's all movies here. Because it's like Snyder Cut, The Flash, Black Adam, and then TV stuff too. Ask Harley Quinn. What the fuck is that? I'm sorry. So I would say the one I'm most interested in is the surprise DC Comics panel. Yeah, so the surprise DC Comics panel. It's a shame that the 120 minutes of comics has to be a surprise.
Well, it could be good though. It could be a good surprise. It could be the kind of thing that we want to sort of be wowed by in this way, rather than just like an announcement somewhere.
It's probably like an event, you would think, right?
Endless Winter is coming up. We did talk about that, so it's possible we're getting some news about that.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. There's also the there's 2 comics panels. There's a Sandman panel.
Oh yeah, that's
true.
right.
That's right.
The Sandman universe.
I'm also kind of into the Wonder Woman 80th anniversary one, but the panel's kind of small. It's Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins, and a special guest. Usually when they do like a spotlight celebration on a character, it has like there was a Batman one. I don't know what last year. No, well there was one in 2014 for like the 75th anniversary.
You think?
And it was a big panel.
Do you think the special guest is what's her name? The original actress?
Linda Carter?
Yeah, Linda Carter.
I could see that. I could see that being the case.
That might be cool.
Sucks
it's only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, is that really 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes.
And that's the thing too, right? Is like if this were at San Diego Comic-Con, these panels would not be just 5 minutes. There'd be a lot more meat to it. But
yeah, it'd be a Q&A. It'd be like a half-hour thing. They talk for 5 minutes, show you like a little video, and be like, "All right, ask us questions."
Yeah.
But for me, I think it's the Batman panel for the movie.
Yeah.
I'm really hyped on that movie. I think it's gonna be great. So I can't wait. There are a lot of interesting panels here. Oh wow! So So there's actually another Wonder Woman. There's 3 Wonder Woman 1984 panels.
3 Jokers, 3 Wonder Woman 1984s.
Oh well, 3 Wonder Woman panels, I should say. Yeah, very interesting. I can't wait for this thing to start. For us, it starts in 8 minutes, so very pumped. But we did get some teases ahead of the Fandome. We got to see the poster from the Batman and the logo.
Yep.
Did you guys get to check that out?
Yeah, that shit looks sick.
Yeah.
I think this stuff looks beautiful, especially the actual logo. If you look at it, it's very cool. It's got the bat symbol kind of coming in through the red, bold Batman name, the Batman. I think this looks great. I love the cracks in the letters. It gives me the impression that this dude's got problems. And I love my Batman with problems. So
I like how sketchy like the bat is.
Yeah.
Too. You know, like it's got that like heavy inky style.
Yep, like not fully formed.
Yeah. This
Which is go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This is like a year 2 type story. So
Right.
Oh yeah.
So he's not like brand new, but still a
He's-
young Batman.
exactly. He's still coming into his own with the job. So I'm really into that.
And it's by Jim Lee, right? The
Yes.
full portrait.
The image. Yeah.
And it's clear too. Like you didn't even need to read that. Like it's just so like it looks like Jim Lee's Batman.
Yeah. Which is like really cool that like the promo event or like the promo image for it is like a comic image, you know?
Yep.
That's neat.
And that's something honestly that I feel like they should do more. DC has been, okay with integration. But I think when you have an artist like Jim Lee, why wouldn't you use his artwork to promote a movie based on a character like Batman? It just makes sense.
Yeah.
But then also what we got, and hopefully you guys got the chance to check this out, is the a tease of The Rock as Black Adam. He posted that on Instagram, and it's him in costume. It's The Rock as Black Adam. It looks amazing.
I'm watching it right now. They're still doing all this. Oh, okay, there we go. Holy shit. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Bro,
So
he doesn't even need to put on a costume. He is Black Adam.
can you believe he's been working on this project or connected to this project for 10 years?
Yes.
It certainly feels that way.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. What's your I guess excitement level for that announcement? Because clearly they're going to do something with that here during the Fandome.
I'm pretty into it, honestly. Like, The Rock is truly the most charismatic human alive. So why wouldn't I want to see him in a superhero movie? Especially as the person that he is, which is Black Adam. Real talk, give me a movie with Shazam, Superman, and Black Adam. Take my money.
Yeah, he's a character, and I think that because of that, it looks like it's going to be fun. And similarly, the Shazam movie was fun. So I think that they're going to definitely take elements of it. It's obviously in the same sort of world, and so, or like from comic wise at least. And so yeah, I mean, I have good hopes for the movie. As for my interest in the character itself, I don't really know too much about him, so I'm kind of like in the dark on it. But otherwise,
I'm in, man. I think The Rock is that dude. He's always been. The only hesitation, the only frustration that I have here is the fact that it is The Rock. And so I'm worried that Black Adam might not get to actually be the kind of villain he is.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern. Because like Will Smith as Deadshot, right?
Right.
Was basically not villainous, and Deadshot is a sociopath. He's
Pretty lecherous guy.
Yeah. and you didn't get that. What you got out of that movie is that he's a family man who shoots people.
There's certain actors who are so bigger than, like, they're stars. Will Smith, maybe not as much now, but certainly in his heyday was a superstar. Dwayne Johnson is arguably like the biggest star in Hollywood right now. If he's not he's like top 3. So like they have that clout where they can just be themselves on camera and everyone's like, I'm here. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
no,
go ahead, Phil. You've been trying to get this out.
Hear me out. Kevin Hart as Mr. Mind. You know, that 2-inch worm? That's a Shazam villain?
God.
That's really funny. I have to give it up.
I endorse.
I might
know you don't know who that is, so look it up.
No, I think you guys mentioned it when we did the review or something. So I'm aware of that character.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much there with it, where it's just like I really like The Rock, so I'm here for it for that reason, you know. But I definitely share your concerns, Sean, where like it might just be a great vehicle for The Rock rather than like a great Black Adam movie. But like I'm also I don't have a super strong connection to Black Adam, so like as much as I'd rather see The Rock actually like, you know, be like, I'm going to be a bad guy and I'm going to play a villain and get into that. And like, I'm likable enough that like, I'll still be charismatic, you know? And like, I want to see that from him because I think those are the best villains anyway, right? Like you think about the best portrayals of the Joker and like, that's the show stealing character, you know, in those Batman movies. So like, you can be charismatic and likable as a bad guy. And I hope that The Rock is willing to go there. But I think even if he's not, it'll still probably be fun because I like him and it's fun to watch him in things. So, you know, I'm hopeful for it. I hope it comes together.
The biggest difference in terms of the examples that you gave is that he's actually getting his own movie.
That's true.
Right.
So, you know, we saw Joker film, which was led by a villain. And we saw how that played out. And I think that was effective. It did a good job of establishing him as the monster he is, but also kind of showing you how he got there. Black Adam is one of the only villains who I do believe has a compelling enough story divorced from the hero to stand on his own with a film. And so I don't have a problem with that as long as he's allowed to be monstrous on some level.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix won a damn Academy Award for Best Actor for that portrayal. Like, people can get into a charismatic villain. I think of Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. Obviously not a movie where a villain is the main character, but Michael B. Jordan, for all intents and purposes, really carries a lot of the load of that movie and why it's so excellent.
I feel like he was the breakout actor from that movie.
I can't remember all right. The real missed opportunity, and I've said it before on this show, is not having John Cena and Shazam. That way you can have Rock versus Cena 3 in this superhero movie.
You had me with the Kevin Hart.
You lost me with John
Lost me with Cena, man. Sorry.
You can't see him?
God. Right now I don't want to see you. We also got a couple of words from Jim Lee that are worth mentioning here ahead of the fandom. He talked about the return of Milestone, that's going to be announced at Fandome.
Oh.
Again, I mean, we've had this announcement made like 2 or 3 times at this point. We talked about this on the show like a month ago.
But at an event?
But you can't announce an announcement. Like, that's like, he's like, oh, we're going to announce that Milestone's coming back at DC. Well, you just told me. That's the announcement. You took all the heat out of it, bro.
Well, they give me details.
The return of Milestone, to answer your question, Marco, has been announced at San Diego Comic-Con before.
Really? Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, and then nothing materialized at that point. So this is now... Because then they also announced it as coming back. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're getting that announcement. The only cool potential thing about it is hopefully I don't feel like saying Milestone is coming back is enough. You got to give me a creative team or 2 or 3. You got to give me book titles. I got to know what it's going to be. So short of that, whatever. But hopefully we do get those things.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly where I'm at with it. Where like, I want to be interested in that, but like, come out with like, here's the cover of Static #1. Here's who's on it, and it's a hot creative team of like people that like we know who are like landmark creators, and it looks impressive. Like
Ryan Michael Bendis, you're right. Pete.
Please no.
He knows how to write black characters. He's done it before.
You know what? Honestly, Marco, you make a strong point. He's responsible for the most popular black superhero of the last 15 years? Maybe it's time for round 2. 10 years from now, Static will be in a Sony movie. It'll be amazing.
I didn't know he worked on Black Panther. That's cool.
Unreal.
I said new superhero. Did I? Maybe I didn't.
Nope.
Doesn't matter.
It also appears as though John Ridley's Batman book will be releasing. They did. Jim Lee also spoke about that as being something that was impending. If you guys recall, he was originally slated to write the as part of 5G. He was going to be relaunching Batman, and it was going to star. Oh God, what was this guy's name? I can't remember. The black character, Lucius Fox's son.
Yeah, fuck. He was the guy who was going to be the new Batman in 5G.
Yes, he was going to be
Marcius Fox.
What?
I don't know.
Marcius?
Marcius.
Is Marcius a name?
Marcius.
Is his name 20th Century?
Lucas.
Dumb joke.
It's
sorry.
Luke Fox,
It's
right?
Lucas Fox. Sean has had enough of my shitty jokes.
You broke
That was the worst thing I've ever heard.
200 episodes in, he's done.
Unreal. We also, God, I don't even know how to proceed. We also learned from Jim Lee that DC would be pulling back their publishing line by 20 to 25%.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Yep. And that they would be focusing, it seems like almost primarily on digital.
Let's go, baby.
So he talked about international content and wanting to get more international books out there as well. But he did say, we'll take the most successful books and repackage it as physical in reference to digital only stuff. I think there is definitely business to be had in physical periodicals. But that said, I think there's greater upside in digital because we can go to a more global audience and the barrier to entry, especially in this pandemic, is lower. It's a lot easier to get digital content into the hands of consumers that want to read stories. We want to lean into that and think thoughtfully what digital content should be, what it should look like, in the format. And that's kind of like a 2-year plan he talks about for them.
I really liked the headline of the Bleeding Cool article was their 2-year plan for global digital dominance. You know, just like a little low key goal like that, dominating the world. Good shit, Jim Lee.
Yep.
Worked for Pinky and the Brain, homie.
Did it? Anyway, I'm interested by this because I think it speaks to like an ongoing discussion we've had on this show, right? About like the fact that I think on some level comics need to continue to embrace the digital market as time goes on and find ways to make that palatable for more consumers. And one of the things that we talked about with the cutting of the line with DC and you know, how those things can impact like which books get made. The idea of them, you know, maybe being able to like take the fact that they're printing less books and be able to funnel that money that was going into, you know, printing some of those books, getting them on shelves and stuff like that, and maybe funnel that into other titles that are digital only because they cost a little bit less to produce and distribute. Beside the fact that they might be able to potentially expand their markets into other regions where physical comics are tougher to get them to or get to those consumers. Like, that's interesting. Like, I obviously right now it's just lip service and like everything I'm saying is conjecture, but the idea of like maybe they print less books, but that doesn't mean they have to make less titles, and that rather than, you know, Daphne Byrne number fucking 4 having to be on the shelves that month, right? They do all of Daphne Byrne, and if it's good and people like it, if it has critical acclaim or is selling well, they do the full volume of it and sell it that way. And like, you know, obviously we've kind of talked about how Image has done that with certain books like Crowded, which went from a month to month to a collected volume format, because it's more cost effective. So I'm wondering if, like, I don't know, like the real path forward, the real evolution for the industry isn't some kind of like hybridization of those things, you know, of like digital being the testing ground for books that are like seen as less safe, you know? I don't know.
I think one of the interesting things is how he mentioned that he wants to have it more accessible around the world, which is a good point, because like if you're able to hit different people in different markets with different modes of consumption, then you'll find success elsewhere, and that's not going to necessarily disparage the people who pick it up physically, but you'll just have like maybe more of a focus elsewhere, and you'll be making more money as a company elsewhere. Obviously, that's not to say that you can't just buy it through some sort of comiXology thing or like a separate platform. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I think those details need to be figured out as well. Because you could buy digitally, I'm assuming directly through them the same way that Marvel does. But what about those like aggregators? I don't know how that's gonna work. I think those are tricky details. What piqued my interest was what he mentioned about being able to see more international content, because I think that's really interesting. They did a thing that Batman Europa, which was an Italian book that I had found across on I think it's on the DC Universe app, and I thought it was like an interesting concept that they would be able to introduce other ideas and other creators outside of the US that can tell these kind of stories, because the European market has a different sort of perspective on comics as a whole, and that can infect potentially the US and how they consume certain things. So I think there's a lot of potential in this sort of move outside of just not necessarily putting aside people who read physical, but maybe not prioritizing them necessarily, because there are other ways to produce the same sort of content or even more content at a more, like you mentioned, Pete, more cost-effective rate, and still be able to tell stories. Because at the end of the day, people want to read the stories, and I think that if you're able to adjust the way that you consume it, people are gonna go to where the stories tend to happen.
The point you made about like the different tastes in European markets is really interesting to me too, because I wonder if, like, one of the things we talked about last week was our concern of like what the scaling back would mean for like Hill House books, or like the ability to see like not a Dark Horse, like a Vertigo rebrand, and seeing more of those weird like non top level, Justice League kind of characters. And like, I wonder if their ability to expand into the British market, or not the British market, the European market, like might increase the readership of something like Hill House, because there's more of a taste for horror comics there. And like, kind of find ways to make those books that are not selling like a Batman does sell a little bit better, and like have that top 10 be a little bit more diverse by speaking to different kinds of readers in different markets that they haven't really tapped.
And if they're able to do that in parts of Asia where digital consumption is much more readily like available, and they're able to translate them and maybe even introduce things like they did the Batman manga, and like there are ways to cater to the market and even adapt it for the market itself. That just means more stories.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm bummed out by how much DC is changing. And the fact that, because look, Jim Lee isn't going to come out and say, hey, we're being forced to do this. There's a gun to our head. We don't have a choice. But the reality is, no matter what anybody wants to admit, is that this is coming from on high. This is coming from people who don't read comics, probably, who don't have a relationship with them or care about them. This is AT&T, right? AT&T now owns Warner Media, right? So they don't care about comics. They care about overhead. They care about how much money can we make, how much money can we save. Look at who they fired. They fired people that have been in this industry since double the amount of time that I've been alive. Almost.
Paul Levitz.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me. So I can't get to a place in my mind where I can think this is okay when it's being spearheaded by people who don't care and aren't interested. You can't get rid of people like that and then tell me everything's going to be okay. There's
a lot of risk. A lot of risk.
Yeah. Yep. And Jim Lee's not even the editor anymore. He's not even, he lost his position as well.
That's all I can think about. He's got a panel today with Fandome, and he's talking about this stuff. And like, man, I know when people like get pay cuts and like where they get paid, like they like get bumped down or whatever, a lot of that motivation goes away. Because think about it, like,
sure,
if we demoted Kale on this podcast lower than he already is, because he already is the fifth pal. If we made him like a pal junior, he might miss half the episodes we do instead of a quarter.
Speaking of the Fandome, which you just mentioned, I am now entering the Fandome.
Okay, let's go over live to Sean, who's reporting from the Fandome. Sean, what are you seeing?
What I see is amazing, actually. This is so cool. The intro is like this. You're like walking into this huge room. The doors are opening. There are panels on the wall. You're seeing these different characters, Wonder Woman, Batman, Lobo, all these different people. And it's this crazy cool entrance. And now I've entered into the panel itself, which is the Wonder Woman 1984 panel. Chris Pine is talking right now. They're showing footage from the movie. This is so cool. Chris Pine is there. Pedro Pascal's there.
Oh, this is cool.
Wow. Shoot, the director of the movie.
Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins is there, of course. Gal Gadot's there. This is awesome. I won't belabor because the panel's going on. I will watch it later, but that's my live reactions. It's looking pretty cool so far. The visual of it is awesome. It's awesome. You're seeing these actors. Oh snap! They got Linda Carter's
Linda
there.
Carter?
Yeah, Linda Carter's
she just
there.
showed up.
Oh man, you're
I'm
watching
in there
too?
now too.
Yeah, I
folks.
just pulled it
Nice.
up. Yeah, she flashed the
Wow.
W and did the bracelets.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
This
there's
is
Kristen
epic.
Wiig.
God, how old is she?
She's got to be in. Let's see. So she was probably in her 20s in the 70s. So it's been 40 years. She's got to be in her 60s, right? 60s or 70s.
Yeah, that sounds
69.
right.
She's 69.
Yeah.
Man, good for you. You're doing good, Linda Carter.
Yeah, that's wild. So while that panel's going on, we'll be referencing it if there's anything, super worth speaking on. But Back to the news. We just have a little bit more to go. I did want to mention, we don't have to really talk about it too much, but I did want to mention that there is a Kraven the Hunter and another movie that both have now found directors. Now, let's start with Kraven because this one's simpler. Kraven the Hunter is a movie we've talked about before as being something that Sony was working on. Of course, we've said we're lukewarm on the concept. Kraven probably needs to be in a movie alongside Spider-Man because of what his origin is. But J.C. Chandler is now tied in to direct this movie. He directed something called Triple Frontier. And they have tapped him now to make a Kraven movie. So there you go.
I wonder what he'll hunt.
This is his first hunt.
Oh,
Kraven's first hunt.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it
Why?
sure does.
It's just like I picture his dad being like, "All right, Kraven, today we're gonna go on our first hunt. We're gonna start small. We're gonna start with squirrels."
Duh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Rabbits.
Should I
Yeah.
Do I need to start my campaign against these films now, or?
If you want to be proven wrong in a year or
That's-
two when they come out.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is the hot take segment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that kills me is that no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. Because if I start my campaign now and I hate it and I'm right, I won't be happy. And if I'm wrong, I'll just get dunked on another 100 episodes. So it's truly a no-win scenario for me here.
I think that's fair to say.
Pete's having an existential crisis on our 200th episode where he's basically like Owlman from Earth 2, where he's like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
It's true. At the end of the day, my fate is sealed. No matter what, at some point, I'm going to just have to sit back and let these movies happen to me. And I'll either get to laugh along or cry. So we'll see what happens.
Holy shit. Pete's
Here's my
becoming
question.
honk-pilled.
My question is, does Eminem do a song for both of these movies? Because if he does, that instantly makes me more interested. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Kraven. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Kraven.
I hope not.
I hope it's just the same song for every movie.
Kraven kills his first opponent, Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah, I mean, I expressed my feelings about it already. I'm not excited. The next one, though, is a little bit more interesting, maybe. So we now know that Olivia Wilde will be directing an Untitled film. And according to Deadline, they're suggesting that it will be a female character who will be the main character. And rumor has it, it's Spider-Woman.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is way more interesting, right? Because it's like, okay, cool. Like, Spider-Woman could lead a film, so that's great. And the article calls out that she apparently penned the script with her writing partner Katie Silverman, and they worked on Booksmart together last year, which is like an indie comedy that I thought was really, really good. I actually didn't realize that Olivia Wilde had worked on it. So knowing that her most previous film was one that I definitely dug, I thought it was one of the better comedies I've seen. And it's a good coming of age comedy, and you don't get too many of those these days. So that coupled with the fact that it's not a character who seems too thin to have their own movie. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
The thing I always remember first about Spider-Woman is the moment from New Avengers, New Avengers, where everyone is trying to figure out why they're so attracted to her, and it's because she has these pheromones that just naturally make dudes attracted to her.
Yep.
And Spider-Man's like, I have a wife.
Not this
Damn.
time.
And a mistress.
Wait, who's his mistress?
Black Cat.
You're just projecting again.
Okay, fine. You go. I'll show you some issues.
Listen, Pete, you show me your issues every time we do an episode, homie.
I love Spider-Woman. I really do. I think she's awesome. I've always been a fan. She was one of the first. God, she might have been the first woman superhero that I ever saw in a comic once I started reading comics, like for real, because she was a member of the New Avengers. And I loved her ever since. I think she's great. That being said, I really just do not understand like how this is going to work because they don't have Spider-Man. He just doesn't exist, right? So, yeah. or maybe he does, and we don't know yet. I don't know. You know, this movie comes out after Morbius, and Morbius looks like it's going to include several references to Spider-Man. We know that Michael Keaton is in the movie. Michael Keaton obviously played Vulture in Homecoming. So that's weird. And then there is a poster visible in the Morbius trailer that references Spider-Man.
Right.
So we'll have to see how things play out when we get to Spider-Woman movie. But as
Venom 2 comes out before that too, right?
Venom 2 also does come out before that. So there may be something there. We don't know.
Yeah, Spider-Man could be in that fucking movie for all we know.
Which we Venom managed to make film work without Spider-Man. That was a whole controversy before that. So this is probably a little trickier, but I think they could do it.
We'll see. There actually is a new Wonder Woman trailer airing right now on the Fandome. So we're going to watch that and give you our live reactions. Oh, my God, that was crazy. Wonder Woman just deflected bullets with her lasso. She was spinning the lasso and deflecting all these bullets.
Marco, share your screen. I'll pull it up for the viewers.
Oh, my God, this is so cool. Wow, Gal Gadot really just is Wonder Woman. Don't show Cheetah, but show her.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yo, I'm so excited that they're actually like making use of the whip in this movie, like better.
Yep.
There's so many fight scenes we've seen with it already. Marco, what are you doing? Share your screen.
I'm trying.
Trailer's gonna be over.
Oh man, wow, that's so cool.
Oh,
is it Phil the new
yes!
host?
Whoa!
Wow!
Oh damn!
Oh!
Oh damn! We just got a real look at Cheetah. Yo, this is sick. Oh my God! From the top rope!
Oh my God.
Dude, this movie looks fucking sick. Are you kidding me?
Am I just in the schedule area? What the fuck?
Oh!
Yo, Marco, it's too late.
Bro, I can't even like
Doing an 80s montage, a fashion montage.
Wow. I love Cheetah, you guys. I love Cheetah.
Oh God, I can't wait to see this movie.
I love Chris Pine's fanny pack.
I don't. All right.
That looks great. I can't wait to see that movie.
Yeah, that sold me harder than I had already been sold. Notoriously, I didn't like the first Wonder Woman movie, but that looked crazy good. So hopefully that is what we can expect from the quality of that movie. Let's jump into the game, guys. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to win.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Ready to kick Kale's candy ass, I'll tell you that.
Ooh. My money's on Marco.
Yeah, to lose. We're fucking not gonna even get close, bro.
Well, Marco, you know what, man? I beat you once in Smash.
I mean, it's gonna happen again. So, like, especially right now.
I'm coming for you.
You don't have to.
Oh, all right. Well, go ahead and listen to our epic Newlywed Game. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it, and we will see you on the other side after you know the results of the game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Newlywed Game Comics Pals Edition, the show where we rock the boat and maybe rock the Casbah. I'm your host, Phil Casey. And now, let's bring out our contestants. First, hailing from parts unknown, let's bring out our South Philly Dream Team, Pete and Sarah.
Hi.
Got any trash talk?
No. We're here for a good, clean fight.
Okay, next, let's introduce the couple that fans at home have dubbed the favorite to win, Sean and Rebecca.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Got any trash for us? We want the trash.
I mean, listen, 9 years, lots of comic book movies, lots of conversations between us about all this geeky stuff. I think we've got as good a shot as anybody. And in fact, I'm already planning how I'm going to enjoy the stories, the humiliating stories that the rest of you are going to have to tell after we win. Right?
That's right, folks. The losers at home will have to share an embarrassing and possibly revealing embarrassing story of their relationship. More on that later. Let's go to our next couple, the Weeb and the Queen, Marco and Mariana.
Hey! Just saying, if you've got 9, Sean, I've got 10 years, so bring it on.
Hey,
Is that
all
true?
right.
Yeah, 10 years this year.
Congrats.
Only Sandman under our belt, but 10 years. We got you on that.
All right. Damn.
Well, we've read a few more.
Saga.
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Okay.
Full books in 10 years. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. And now, let's go to our final team, the real Harlem Globetrotters, Kale and Jess.
Yeah.
Woo!
Give us that sweet dirt.
So it's been 4 years?
1 week.
Oh, shit.
Yes, man.
A lifetime for me. Fleeting moments of love for him. Spread across continents. We're going to win.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
We've got 6 years, 2 master's degrees, halfway through a PhD, and
A dog.
A dog.
a dog. At least a dozen published comics between us. Surely we'll be all right.
Surely.
Bring it
I gotta
on.
tell you, Jess, the one thing I agree with you on so far is that I also feel like I've known Kale a lifetime. And that's because knowing Kale is so grinding that I feel like a lifetime has gone by.
So we've been stuck in quarantine here. And I think the thing I've said to him most is, you're a very difficult person to Quarantine has lasted for the last 8 years of our 6th relationship.
Hold on. This isn't a game where you fight each other. You fight the other couples.
Obviously,
Fight.
that's where our power comes.
Fight. This is pillow talk.
Oh.
Nothing.
Save the revealing stories for later. Everyone at home, thank you for tuning in to our 200th episode. This is a little special feature we're doing here where we've brought on all the pals, girlfriends, wives, and fiancés to join us in a little competition to see who knows who best. Let's go over the rules. We're going to do 3 rounds of questions to determine how well the significant others of the pals know their partners. These are going to be all comic book related questions that'll really test the strength and fortitude for our lovebirds.
Uh-oh,
First-
I don't listen when he talks about those.
No
I
one
just
likes it
don't
when I use the
listen.
word lovebirds. First round will have 4 questions total, where each question will be worth 1 point. This will be our easiest round, so hopefully everyone escapes this round with 4 points. Next is the swimsuit competition, where our boys will show off their bikini zones.
Whoa.
I mean, round 2 will also have 4 questions. They'll be a little tougher, and the room will get hotter. This round will also have 4 questions that, you guessed it, will have 2 points apiece. That's when you really feel the heat turning up. Finally, our final round. That's when you guys just can't handle the fire and you'll have to get out of the kitchen. These questions will be worth 3 points, also 4 questions. kind of go over what we're doing here, I'll ask all of our couples the same questions to start around. Example, what's your pal's favorite color? Both members of the couple will write their answer at the same time. For example, Jess will write down what she believes Kale's favorite color is, while Kale writes down what his favorite color actually is. Every couple will do this at the same time. After everyone has had a chance to write down their responses, I will go through each couple one at a time, randomly, just to see how well they know one another. If we end up having a tie past the 3 rounds, we will do a lightning round sudden death series of questions where the first couple wins the game. Now, what's at stake here? We kind of alluded to it earlier. The losing couples, that is to say everyone but the one couple that wins, will have to reveal embarrassing stories about their relationship.
More.
That already
More
happened,
so.
Marco.
Yes.
Was that on the air?
I do think we're at a disadvantage here because Marco shares so much that it's kind of hard to like pick something that like he hasn't already shared.
To who? Who does he share this to?
He totally tells you guys.
I don't know if he
And
tells
like
us on the
the
air.
PAL
Yeah,
listeners.
but not the listeners.
He's never
that's
once
right.
talked on the show.
Oh, I see. Oh, then this is gonna be really great. I have
That's
so
why we're
much
here.
dirt.
That's why we're here.
Amazing.
How are you all feeling here? You guys nervous?
Oh no, I got this. I
Confidence.
listened to the first 2
Now
years.
I'm nervous.
I'm very nervous.
Also, I'm very competitive, and I don't really understand what the word losing means.
Yeah, I know what
'cause, you
that
know,
means very well.
All I do is win, no matter what.
We'll be teaching
Okay.
you today.
Oh, bring it on.
This is an education lesson. So, if you're joining us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Watch along. We'll write down all the answers on our couples will hold them up. If you're listening, we'll say them out loud. You won't be lost either way. And either way, let's jump into round 1. Let's start easy, everyone. This is a real simple one. Who is your pal's favorite comic book character? Real simple question here, not too difficult.
That is easy. I know that.
It could be anyone. Could be Archie, for all we know. That'd be weird, huh? How's everyone doing? I see. We got a couple more people writing down.
Done.
Ooh, I like the confidence. Is everyone ready? Oh, I see Jess is still writing. It's okay.
Ooh, Kale, she's
Just
thinking
one
hard.
character, not a book.
Oh.
He's trying to recall how to spell Mr. Mitsictleplick.
I bet she spelled it as well as you said it.
Let us go to our most confident couple, Marco and Mari. Mari,
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
It looks like it's Swamp Thing.
It
1
is,
point.
baby.
1 point there. We all knew what that answer was going to be. Long-time listeners.
I mean,
Even
it's
new
the
listeners
t-shirts,
know
it's
this.
the sweaters, it's the artwork.
All
I'm
right.
not sure what gave it up.
It's the
the
shrubbery
body
around the
though.
house.
Shrubbery.
I'm surprised he hasn't dyed himself green, but all good.
Let's go to Pete.
You gotta save something for
Sarah
episode
now.
300.
Oh, Pete, you are you
Oh,
are
no.
devoiced.
You got mad deep.
So time out here real quick. Pete's got to fix his microphone because he goes down a full octave.
Oh no.
Is that better?
Uh-oh. I went duty again.
All right. I'm gonna just make a part 2 so we don't have to stop the recording.
Okay.
Okay.
Just think
Whatever
with me
you
real
gotta
quick.
Me or who?
I don't care. Anyone.
I'll do it.
Sean, good.
1,
2,
1,
2,
1.
2.
Cool.
Pete, whenever you're ready. I'm going to you guys next anyway.
Yeah, just say it's us again.
Okay. All right, well, let's go over to our next couple, the humble South Philly duo of Doom. Sarah, who is Pete's favorite comic book character? Hold it up. Invincible Pete.
I wrote Spider-Man.
Oh!
It's my favorite comic. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like I totally that's fair answer.
That's a
Marco,
great
Mara, you guys got the first
We're
one.
off
What
to
do
a
you think
great
of all
start.
this?
I mean,
We knew it.
Just take the ring back.
Wow.
no, Sarah, come back, stay.
If they got that wrong, I'm sweating.
Round 1, we're already over.
Oh, God.
Oh man.
Okay, well, let's go over to our folks that have traveled throughout Oceania and Europe and United States. Kale and Jess. Jess, who is Kale's favorite comic book character?
Spider-Man.
Kale?
It's the Tick.
Oh, good.
That's not Tick!
Oh my
Marco,
God.
Mari, you guys are on top right now. What do you have to say to this?
The underdog comes out on top, baby.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
But
Can I just point out, Kale, what was all that you were talking about all those PhDs and everything?
Well, she doesn't have it yet.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And let's go over to our favorites. Rebecca, who was Sean's favorite comic book character?
Gray.
Wait,
What's it
what?
say?
Jean Grey Phoenix.
Oh, Jean Grey. Sean?
Oh, you got to pick one.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey!
Yo, I
The
just gotta
Phoenix
say,
is 15 different people. That doesn't count.
Oh, please.
Oh, we got ourselves a tie.
But
Coming out
I'm
of that
sorry,
first
I would have known that because he's making Marco read X-Men. So just saying.
Oh,
That was a community decision, okay?
Let's go over to another easy question here. What is your pal's favorite movie based on a comic book or comic book character? This isn't necessarily a superhero movie. It just has to be based off a comic book.
You guys know how hard it is to live with someone that hates everything and bitches about everything. I don't know.
Oh no, Jess, we do a show.
yeah. But
We
have to
deal with
them-
this.
We deal with them once a week, though. Jess has to deal with that 24/7, 365.
I totally regret not practicing.
Oh! Well, let's see what happens when we get to round 3.
I believe you, baby.
Oh, wait, can I curse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, fuck yeah.
Listen to the show.
oh boy, that's a question for later.
This is supposed to be like a wholesome episode.
No such thing.
Has everyone written down their responses?
Are we trying to keep this
No, I need a
PG-13 or
second.
like
No.
rated R?
Say whatever you need to say. Just don't incriminate us, please.
I got you.
All right. If everyone is ready,
I'm
we will
still
go.
not. I need a
Oh,
second.
sorry. Go ahead. Take your time. So,
Sorry.
Sean, Rebecca, you tied Marco and Mari here in that first little set of questions. Feeling confident still?
Pretty confident, yeah.
Yeah, that was a shocking first round, or first question, I should say. I think it was very revealing.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, are we all ready? Jess?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's great because I'm coming to you first. Jess, what is Kale's favorite comic book movie based on a comic book or comic book character?
The Mask.
Kale?
Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh.
Oh! Missing a couple words.
We watched it a week ago. And I very specifically said this is the best movie.
No, best, not favorite.
Best is not favorite. I don't know.
Let's go over to our other couple who hasn't scored any points yet. Sarah, what is Pete's favorite comic book movie based on a comic book or comic book character?
Spider-Verse?
What's it say? Say it out loud.
Into the Spider-Verse.
I did
Pete?
right into the Spider-Verse.
Hey! You're on
All
the
right.
board!
All right.
We got one. Yeah.
All right.
We're on the board.
That's
Sean, Rebecca, what is Sean's favorite comic book movie based on a comic book or comic book character?
I put The Dark Knight.
Sean?
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight calls it.
I just
Yes.
want to say I feel very confident when I place my bet on you two. Working out.
Wait, which is the third one? I call bullshit.
Dark
There's
Knight
record
Rises.
on the show.
Please.
He never has said that Rises is his favorite. He's just defended it.
that's a good point.
Oh no, yeah, that's right.
But, hey, Pete, how about you pull your nose out? You're playing for yourself.
Are you just mad because you don't have a single point on the board right now?
There you go.
You seem a little shaken.
No, I'm just mad.
That's his superpower, everyone. Marco, Mari, what is Marco's favorite comic book movie?
All right, full disclosure, I'm working on a process of elimination here.
Okay.
Because I have no clue.
Oh, wow.
I think...
It's not something. It's not something.
I legit don't have any clue. I wrote Doom Patrol.
That's a TV show.
Not a movie. It was Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, damn.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I also had Star Wars as an option, and I even possibly
based on
wrote
a
Dark
comic?
Knight based on his reaction. So I was way off.
Okay, so coming out of that second question, Sean and Rebecca have a lead here. How's it feel, guys?
Pretty good.
As expected.
As expected. They were the favorites after all.
That's why. That's why we're together.
Let's do a fun question here now. If your pal had a superpower, any superpower, what superpower would that be?
I've told you this before. You know this. Come on.
Oh, we talked about so many different varieties.
Oh, they've talked about so many different things. Was this part of the wedding planning? Probably not. Why would it be? That'd be batty.
Let me just tell you, no one told me this was part of getting married.
It is to Marco. Unfortunately, when you marry one pal, you marry all the pals, I guess.
Hey.
Well, anytime you want to come over.
Well,
What did I just
Kale, you
hear?
gotta get some points first.
There.
The fact that you're this unconfident about it, I'm very nervous.
Oh! Well, we're gonna learn a lot about each other today. This is like therapy. How we doing? Everyone ready?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Let us go to our squirreless couple first again. Jess, what superpower would Kale get? What would he have?
Coffee summoning.
Coffee summoning.
Wow. I will say, Kale, before you answer, that's well thought out.
Mhm.
That's well thought out. And it's a lot more thought out than my answer, which is common writer powers.
Common writer powers.
He doesn't even know what they are. Can I get a half point for him realizing that I knew the answer more than he did?
Sometimes you just know better.
How does Jess get points but I don't? Is I think the question.
That's
The wife
marriage,
always
baby.
wins.
I'm dragging her down.
You're the anchor. All right. Let's go over to our leading team now. Rebecca, what powers would Sean have?
Wasn't too sure, but I went with telekinesis.
Oh, interesting. Sean?
Okay, so now this is going to be interesting because I put down mind reading.
Nope.
It is
Nope.
different. That's
I'll say-
telepathy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's close.
Telekinesis is moving stuff with the mind.
That's what you
guys-
meant, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bummer.
This is a tough one. This one is like not a thing that would come up very often. So this takes a lot of intuition, I feel like. Mari, what would Marco want?
Based on the fact that the one only thing that I actually do know about him is that he likes Swamp Thing, I put connecting to nature.
Nope. I do that when I go naked into the forest.
But I also put what I wish he could do, which is making money.
Wow.
Oh.
Damn.
So
It's
I'm not quite sure.
it's cartoon powers.
What's
I
that
had
mean?
fun.
Fucker cartoon
just-
powers.
Like
Wrote flying, crossed it out, and then wrote cartoon powers.
like Bugs Bunny, he pulls out a
Oh,
hammer
I
out of nowhere.
see.
He has like
Oh my god.
animation powers and whatnot.
You already.
Right.
I think
you
I speak for
want
everyone.
animation powers over
Hold
the
on.
power to make money?
Phil's gonna say
You can
something.
make
My
you
bad.
can make animation money.
I think I speak for everyone here on the show when I say Marco already has cartoon powers. He's already a cartoon character.
Saluti.
You're not wrong.
All right, Sarah, what is Pete's superpower wish?
So I know it's the power to stop time, but I wrote invincibility. Or
You-
invisibility.
You wrote invisibility, but yeah, I did write the ability to stop time.
I love it as we were
That
going-
close.
You knew.
I knew it. I knew it. I just forgot. I was panicking.
No one got any points that time. That's okay. That was a tricky one.
We had it. We would have caught up.
I know. I'm so sorry. I knew it.
Let's close out round one here. This one might be a little easy for some people on here.
Come on.
If your pal could date any comic book character, who would it be?
Oh, fuck.
Too easy. Oh my god, there's so many, you fuck. You've mentioned like 3. Okay.
Do you have to use an actual name? What if you know of the person but don't know the name?
You got to know the name, Mari.
Well, let's see what happens. I'm
No,
curious.
gotta have a name. Gotta have a name.
I'm curious what happens though. Try that. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Phil's the judge.
If it's really funny, I might give it Here we go. We're closing out on round one. Right now, we have a scoreless team on the board that have 2 masters between them. And we have a team that everyone before the show was saying they're the front runners. And indeed, they're leading the pack. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
Born
let's start
ready.
with Sean and Rebecca, because I don't know if Rebecca knows this. This is just such a weird thing that I don't think anyone knows about
What an
Sean.
obscure detail.
Yeah, that's
How
really
about the
tough,
same-
But if I
At the same time.
yes, if I
I'll
had
count you
to
down.
guess, I would say Jean.
Jean Grey.
There it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have a question on here of if you could kill one character, who would it be? So, Kale, I'm sorry you can't say Jean Grey for that.
Everyone.
But let's go over to you guys now. Jess, who would Kale date if he could date a fictional character?
I'm going on previous answers. The Tick.
Kale's progressive.
Her answers are so much better than mine. Gwen Stacy.
Oh,
Really?
that tracks. That
Gwen
tracks.
Stacy's my dream girl.
That tracks. Yeah.
You
that
mean
makes a
your
lot of
wife
sense.
is your dream girl, right?
I know what I said.
All the women were like, ooh.
Douche chills.
Douche chills indeed. Sarah, who would Pete date?
Well, he's always trying to get me to dye my hair red.
Oh my God.
So I said MJ from
Nice.
Spider-Man.
Oh, such a good guess, babe, but I put Black Cat.
Oh! Just
Classic.
like Peter Parker.
Classic
Just
Spider-Man
like
conundrum.
Peter Parker.
Classic.
What are you gonna do?
Pete's second
You're not gonna
favorite
dye your hair
superhero
white.
after Invincible.
I'm not gonna dye my hair white. No. Maybe red, but not white though.
Pete, if you had said Mary Jane, maybe she would have done it for you. Maybe if you win,
Yeah,
she'll dye
never
her hair for
again.
you.
Well,
Maybe that's the real win for the winner.
She's looking out for you, Pete.
That's funny.
I got you.
well, let's see if she's looking out for you, Marco. Mari, who would Marco date?
Oh crap. All right, so so once again, I have 2 answers, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna go with plan A, but I have to explain plan B. So plan A is the girl from Swamp Thing.
At the arcade.
Mm,
What was plan B?
Swamp Thing.
Well,
I can't give you the point there. I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no, but you
know the
have to.
name.
That's the
Nope.
only thing I knew.
hold on. Mariana, what is Swamp Thing's human name?
The fuck?
All right, so round
no
2.
Points. No points. Round 2. Let's go.
Oh, I knew it though.
Oh my god, incredible.
Can we get a half point?
No.
Oh.
Come on.
Incredible.
Do better.
Now, before we go to round 2, let's do a little couple interview here, just real quick. Let's go to our the couple that's trailing the most right now, Kale and Jess. Guys, how do you meet? How do you guys come to know each other? Our listeners are dying to know.
Oh, we met at school.
Oh, real exciting.
Great.
Jess, throw
I
some
mean,
love
that's
into
what,
it.
that's what it is.
When did you guys know that you were meant to be? Oh man, this segment's dying.
Dead air. All right, let's move on to the next couple.
You know, that's what marriage does.
Speak to the ones that are winning, and then maybe come back to us later.
Maybe we're not meant to be.
Oh no!
This is what I wanted.
Sean, I've never heard you laugh so eagerly. That was
I love it.
Anything before I move to the next couple that you want to share about your relationship? I'm trying to
When,
toss some
Jess,
softballs.
when did you know that we were meant to be?
still not sure of it.
She's like Phil. You give her a straight question, she won't answer it.
I answer straight questions. I'm not the one being asked questions on this show, though. I am the question asker. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next couple.
I guess that's
You
it.
guys did a great job.
This is going about as well as I thought it would.
Great. Pete and Sarah, how did you guys meet?
We met in high school. We dated in high school
Oh.
twice, and then broke up and was with other people for like almost a decade, and then we reconnected, and that's when we got together this time.
That's wonderful. You guys are engaged now. So when did you guys realize you were meant to be?
In high school.
Wow.
we were just lying to ourselves.
That's a
She's a little.
cute ass answer.
That's cute as fuck.
That is cute as fuck.
How you guys feeling about your chances going into round 2?
Pretty good. Everybody else is whiffing it. I think at least we have a clear shot at second place.
I just think it was MJ still.
No, I don't even want to hear from you when you knew the right answer to the superpower question and wrote the wrong shit down.
We're
Listen.
feeling great, Phil.
We'll go to the other 2 couples between rounds 2 and 3. Without further ado, let's go into round 2 now. Okay, this is worth 2 points. We have 4 questions. This one might benefit one of our pals too. We'll find out. What is your pal's all-time favorite video game based on something comics related?
I don't
Shit,
even
I'm
know.
fucked.
You got
I don't even know.
Best video game based on a comic book.
All right,
Come on.
Marco.
Oh, okay.
We got
You got
this.
this.
Okay.
You got
Does
this.
it
We got
count
this.
if there was subsequent comics made of the game?
No, it has to be a comic first, and the game is based on the comics.
All right.
Hang on, I'm changing my answer.
That's fine. Anyone can change their answers before I say basically pencils down.
Does
What
a
if we
doodle
both get the
count?
wrong answer?
Oh.
Does a doodle count?
Yeah, Mari's holding up scribbles right now.
Doodle? What are you doing, Picasso?
Well, I'm trying to get creative here. I'm not even sure I have a plan A in the situation.
You can hold that up and be like, "That's what it says."
I mean, for
It's
Marco, Plan A is Swamp Thing.
Always something.
Always.
I can't even remember a time I've ever heard Marco talk about a video game based on a superhero or something.
Yeah, I had to think really hard right now, and I don't even know if this is the right answer.
For myself.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah, I don't even
All right.
think that's a video. That's a like a thing.
You guys ready? Everyone ready?
No, no. Hold on. I need like.
Okay.
This is struggle.
I'm
for real.
gonna give you 5 seconds.
I don't even. This is like far beyond my knowledge.
All right, write something down because I am coming to our first couple.
Fine, fuck it.
Oh, you have to write it down.
I did.
Okay, Sarah, what is Pete's favorite video game based on comics?
Spider-Man on the PS4 game.
It is in
There it
Spider-Man
is.
on the PS4.
I had a feeling.
Because of Spider-Man, guys.
Spider Happy PS-4.
All right, you got one. We got two.
I was gonna make a joke about their console exclusive answer, but like it's legit. Spider-Man's only on one console, so it's not. It wouldn't even be.
I just want to make sure it was specific.
Mari, what is Marco's favorite video game based on a comic book?
All right, I just want to show my doodles because I went through a few different things, and I settled with X-Men because that seemed like a safe answer.
Batman Arkham City.
Nice.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Honestly,
I considered Mario, but I'm like, Mario's definitely not a comic book. Then I thought about Pokemon, and I'm like, he doesn't look like a Pokemon guy. But I wasn't sure Pokemon was a comic book.
Doesn't look like a Pokemon guy.
No, what is a Pokemon guy?
Living with him, but okay.
So I settled.
Yeah, we know, Mari.
Oh,
fucking savage.
Oh, brutal. Rebecca, what is Sean's favorite video game based on a comic book?
I put Spider-Man.
Sean?
I also put Spider-Man.
Oh.
There it is. There it is. I had a feeling this question would also lean into your specialties here. And that brings us to Jess and Kale. Jess, what is Kale's favorite video game based a video game based on a comic book? I can't even talk.
Batman for the N64, because I have no idea.
Spider-Man for the PS4.
Oh, close.
That is
Close.
not your
Close.
favorite game.
Had a man in there.
Based on a comic book.
You tell him, Jess.
Did you even listen to the question?
Yes.
I like that we just unofficially named that the best comic book video game of all time. 3 out of 5 pals recommend.
Oh well, we were
Yes.
talking about the original for PlayStation 1. But
Oh, see, that's
a great
that's
game.
probably the second best.
Pete and I did a stream of that while very drunk once.
It was one of the best days of my life.
so, just for clarification's sake, at this point,
I said one.
Yes.
It's every question is worth 2 points, correct?
That's correct, and that's a good point because I was about to review our scores because I didn't do that out of round one, so we'll do that now.
You don't have to do that.
In the lead is Sean and Rebecca with 5 points. Second place, Pete and Sarah with 3 points.
Granted, that should be us too,
Yeah.
but just saying.
Third place is Marco and Mari with 1 point, and
We're not
taking up
last.
the rear is our Harlem Globetrotters, Kale and Jess with 0
You notice
points.
how everyone else is going to kiss and be friendly with each other?
But I do have to say they're the only actually married couple as well. So just saying.
Just
Don't
saying.
get married.
Don't get married.
Just
Now-
keep buying engagement rings. All good.
Here's a fun trip down memory lane for our second question. What comic book movie did you two see together first as a couple?
Oh fuck.
All right.
Can you guys remember that?
Can I ask a clarification question here?
Yeah, shoot.
This is in any location?
Yes, it could be at home. You know, it doesn't have to be in a movie theater. Just the first comic book movie you guys saw together as a couple. That's a great clarifying question.
Okay. Can I ask another clarifying
Yes.
question? Can it just be a book?
Nope, has to be a movie based on a comic book.
Oh, were you gonna say Harry Potter?
Always.
That's
Can't do
fine. They
that.
could say Harry Potter. It doesn't matter because it's not the answer.
What if she wrote it?
That would have been funny. and
I
it's
did
still
not
pretty
write
funny.
it.
Okay,
Oh, good.
so similar to the question about favorite comic book character, it doesn't have to be a superhero movie. Just saying, it just has to be a movie based on a comic book.
I got this though. Marco, I got this. I wanted you to know.
I'm still thinking.
Uh,
you hate these kind of movies.
Fine. Forget all the times we've met.
Gotta give him a time limit, man.
I'm giving him a few more seconds here. Marco, write an answer.
Come on.
Is everyone else ready while Marco's writing an answer?
All right, I'm about to give everyone TMI, but we macked all over this during this movie. So I'm not even sure he remembers. Probably didn't even watch it, but just saying.
Damn, it didn't help.
Oh my. I'm going to go to you guys last then, because that sounds great.
Wait, but has Marco written an answer?
Did you write your answer?
Okay.
I did.
Okay, great. So let's go to Jess and Kale. Jess, what was the first comic book movie you guys saw as a couple?
Come on, Glamsy. Come on.
Captain
Jess?
America, Winter Soldier.
Kale?
Pretty sure it was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, no!
As a couple?
No!
No, it wasn't specific as a couple. It was saw together.
No, it was as a couple.
Oh, damn.
I did say couple. I did say couple. I wrote.
All right.
Come on.
I wrote all the questions down. Ooh,
Doing great.
It's like I said in the lead.
We saw that as in a group.
Yeah. That's what we saw together.
Oh my god.
It's like I said at the outset of the episode. Second round's getting hot in here. We're in August now, folks. All right, let's go to Sarah and Pete. Sarah, what was the first comic book movie you guys saw as a couple?
The Avengers.
It was the
Pete?
Avengers.
It was the Avengers.
That was
Okay.
our first date.
That was the first we had sex.
I gotta ask.
Oh, wait,
in the
girl.
movie theaters?
Yeah, like during the movie?
Hey.
No, he wanted me to watch all of the Marvel movies, and I think we got through one.
Let's be real. Yeah, I really just wanted her to come over so we could have sex.
And then,
Hey.
we heard the second one playing from the other room.
Nice.
And I remember at the end, I'm like, so I heard an explosion. What was that?
That was Pete.
That was the love, baby.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I said,
They call him Loud Pete for a reason, folks.
Baboon.
sorry.
No, excellent. More of those.
Keep going.
I want to thank, of course, I want to thank Sarah's parents for tuning into this episode.
They know
They're
what I'm
sponsoring it. Who knew?
Rebecca, what was the first movie you and Sean saw as a couple? First
Dark
superhero
Knight.
movie, comic book movie. Dark Knight.
All right, and I also put The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Woof. Pete and Sarah were able to catch up, but Sean and Rebecca managed to pull back out in front again.
I knew it.
Every time they get one right, I'm like, oh, good, nice.
It's like, yeah, no, I love being in second place.
So, Mara, what was the first comic book movie? We're all dying to know.
All right, so we maxed all over Blade Runner.
We never saw that movie.
It's also not a comic book movie.
Not even
Damn it! I'm pretty sure it has a comic book though.
We've never seen
Yes,
that
we
movie.
have.
No, we have
You
not.
don't remember because we maxed all over it.
Civil War.
Listen, first of all,
Oh my God. That was so good.
I can't with you. Nope.
Wait.
Not to the head.
I need to clarify this. Hold
No,
on.
I can't.
Savage.
Blade Runner?
Fucking Blade Runner.
The original Blade Runner?
No, it was like a remake.
1984.
1984 came out, what, 2018?
It came out again though. No. They had a
2016 was
remake.
the sequel.
Take that, bitch.
2017.
I'm sorry, when were we together?
2017, Mari. No, you're still off.
No, this happened.
Haven't you guys been
I
together
swear.
for 10 years?
Yeah, exactly. Where's that
First
timeline
time
thing?
they ever.
This happened.
The first time you saw a comic book movie was 2016?
No, it had this
Phil,
really cute
Phil.
girl in
That's what
it.
I was thinking.
Phil,
Stop.
you
Oh,
don't
you're
have to
talking
ask
about-
us how we feel. I feel upset.
No,
Mario only
100%.
remembers that you have the hots for Ana de Armas, Marco.
Ana de Armas is good.
No, look, it was one of the Blade Runners.
No, ma'am.
I swear to you.
We're gonna go to the next question now. This is
Was
kind of an
Is
earnest
it
one.
Blade?
Did
Not
you
even
mean
that.
Blade? That would make sense.
We'll
What?
figure that out, but let's pay attention.
I'm working on it.
What comic book character does your pal relate with the most?
Jokes. No, I got this. I don't need you.
I love this heat. It's August, baby. Give me the heat. I'm trying to sweat this out.
Better get this right.
Nailed it. I think.
Ooh, everyone's writing pretty quickly here. Sean, Rebecca, you have a pretty big lead here. How you guys feeling?
Great.
I mean, we should just get the points and wrap it up. Like, let's just.
All right.
Early dismissal.
I might as well.
Trying to go to the handball courts.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Let's wrap up our answers here. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, unless everyone's already written. Has everyone already written their answers? Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So let's go to Rebecca and Sean since they're in the lead here. Rebecca, what comic book character does Sean relate to most?
Actually, just talked a lot of shit. I'm not too sure, but I put down Captain America.
Okay. Sean?
Well, you are sure because I also put down Captain America.
Oh, that is awesome.
Come on.
I thought we had.
Wow.
I was so ready to
Okay.
pull ahead. I was so ready.
Damn.
Son of a
Oh, let's
bitch.
see. Let's see if you do. We'll go to you guys now. Sarah, who does Pete relate to most in comic books?
Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
You got it, baby.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
fair. That's in his name. It's not fair.
That one.
All right.
Look, stop
all right,
trying to
this
figure
is
it out.
good.
Slam
Pay
dunk.
attention.
I did.
Mari.
He's
does Marco
yelling
relate
at
to most?
me. My goodness. I put Swamp Thing with double exclamation.
Yeah, she's right.
mark.
She's right.
Oh, okay. Wow. There
Wow.
we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
In a few rounds. Got a point.
3 points on
Nice.
the board now because 1 in the first round and 2 just now.
Oh, must be
So-
nice.
Well, let's see if you guys can join them. Jess, who does Kale relate to most?
Peter Parker.
Oh,
I was gonna say
what's it say?
No.
All right. Sideways.
They're all
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Nice.
Okay.
All
right.
Off the board.
Oh, stop it.
no. Kale
Don't
means
vote
Miles
for
Morales.
that.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, I mean Miles Morales, Marco.
I would have, Kale, if I was
And
with you,
Riley.
I would have written Granny Goodness, but okay.
Look at Kale's hair and
You're
tell me he
still
doesn't look
searching for
exactly
this
like
movie.
Ben Riley.
Okay.
I meant Spider Ham. Peter Porker, okay?
That part's true, though. Final question of the second round. If you two were a famous comic book couple, who would you be?
Wow.
Wait, do they have to be sleeping together? Or
It has
just
to be-
like a
that's
duo?
That's a great question.
No,
That's a
it's
great
not-
question.
It's a couple, a romantically involved couple.
Fuck you.
So I know everyone's had canon with Batman and Robin, but Batman and Robin is not an answer here.
Oh, I see.
I hope
Wait,
not.
do you mean like? So do you
Because
mean like?
I know
it-
what what
do you
I
mean
want
like
the
a
answer.
couple in the comic book, or like
Uh-huh.
people involved in the comics?
No, I'm talking characters.
The character.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like a romantic relationship.
I got this.
Come on. you
Okay.
got this.
Okay. Mark. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Comic book specific?
Yeah.
As opposed to
or as opposed to like MCU, DC, FU.
Oh.
okay,
F
all
you.
right, that's fine. You can do on-screen
Superhero couple?
interpretations. You can do
Okay.
superhero couple. You can do an on-screen interpretation. It's fine. Everyone have their answers?
Go ahead,
It's all
guess,
right.
Sean. You won't because it's wrong.
I don't care what your answer is.
Good, because it's wrong.
Let's go up to our team that's trailing our leaders. Sarah, what
Oh.
couple would you guys be?
Spider-Man and MJ.
Yeah.
Pete?
Spider-Man and Black Cat.
Okay. He wishes he was with Black Cat, but he's with Mary Jane.
It's okay. I'm fine with that.
As long as she's the one that he comes home to, he can wish all he wants.
Yep.
Jess, who are you and Kale?
This is movie specific, right?
It's any.
No. I'm sorry. That was a statement. That was my
Okay,
English
yeah, go for it.
going up at the end of a sentence. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Very much not Hank Pym. Scott Lang.
What?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Look at
Yes.
that.
These two are making their comeback.
Hey.
Oh, stop. You got it wrong.
No, I
Leave
got
it
this.
alone.
Leave me alone.
That's good. Mari, who are you and Marco?
We are Swamp Thing and Abby Arcane.
Oh, she got the name right this time.
Wow! Okay.
It's a game.
I want
low-key
to
expecting
clarify
her to
that the
write
movie
Swamp
that
Thing
we
in the
mapped to was Tron Legacy.
It's not a fucking.
That's so different than Blade Runner.
Really, I can see it.
We did the remake. Not great.
With Olivia Wilde.
How do you know? You weren't watching.
I saw it later.
That's it. Sorry. I feel fulfilled now. We can go on.
That's great because I put the fill in fulfilled.
Hey.
Rebecca, who are you and Sean?
Horus, Jean Grey, and Cyclops.
Sean?
I put Cyclops and Jean Grey.
But the question is who?
No. The question is, who is Wolverine?
Oh. Phil.
Easy. Woo, that's our second round, folks. How's everyone feeling?
All right.
Pretty good.
Honestly, Phil, I wasn't feeling that great, but this last question.
I really redeemed him.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to go really well for me today.
I feel really good. I think things are going well for Rebecca and I as expected. But I'm happy to say that if anyone is going to beat us here, it will most likely be Pete and Sarah, which I would be okay with.
Oh, the humility.
Can I ask a question, contestants? What's it like having a relationship built on love and not cynicism and hatred of the whole world?
You know what I hate about this, speaking of hatred, is that it makes me look like I don't know anything about comic books. Because I keep writing things like Batman and Spider-Man. I know comics, all right?
No, it's just because Kale's basic, so you're guessing basic things,
It's like basic obscure, like the Tick. Who like?
Wait, Kale, let me show you what love looks like.
Basically, I've been drunk my whole relationship.
Oh, good. You started dating when you were pretty young, so that's concerning.
Oh my goodness.
But not surprising.
Oh my. Let's go back to our contestants. We got two more couples here. Mari and Marco, how'd you guys meet?
So we met in high school. I was that really obnoxious, loud girl. And his first, mind you, I always tell a story because it's so fun.
Story.
But he sat in front of my best friend and I was like, bro, who the fuck are you? Like, move. And he wasn't moving. And then I said hi, and I loved the fact that he was shy, so I just kept teasing him because I'm a jerk like that. And the first thing he said to me was, so he used to move his feet around like shaky, and it made me nervous.
Like you crossed.
So I touched his shoe, and he was like, "Ew, don't touch my shoe." And I was like, "Yo, this guy is psycho." And then, can I just say this is, by the way, this is an exclusive for the pals because I've never actually publicized this. But his first text to me telling me that he was completely, utterly in love with me was, "I like you, and is the reticence of this conversation being held to its utmost capability?"
Of course. Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
Just saying, I
Yes.
had no idea
Yes.
what the fuck he was talking about, and he was using really big words, so I ignored him for a whole day because he pissed me off.
It was terrible.
Absolutely, Marco.
So that's sort of how it went down here. And
I
we've been together
was-
ever since.
I was
Sorry, is this your
self-conscious
embarrassing
and
story?
shy,
Are
and
you guys
it-
admitting defeat?
No, it gets
That
worse.
is the most Marco thing I swear to God I've ever heard.
Incredible. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Ultimately, that really annoying loud girl turned into the love of his life.
And they're getting married as soon as this
And
pandemic's over.
we hope to get married.
We'll see how the rest of this game goes. Let's go to our other.
Let's just see. I think I'm doing really well, though.
Okay. Rebecca, Sean, how did you guys meet?
All right.
Oh,
we
that's
actually met at church, which is
Hell yeah.
very
The
strange.
Lord's house. It was
Neither one of
written
us-
in the Bible.
Neither one of us are religious on any level.
That's all right.
I was,
Don't mind.
I was working with kids there, and she was also working with kids, like Sunday school or something like that, right?
Yeah, I had to do volunteer work. So
Yeah. And we were the two like quiet people who were just kind of in their own zone. And I just started talking to her on the bus one time on a way to a mission trip, and I never stopped talking, and she never stopped listening.
Do you guys remember what you talked about? That's a long time ago.
I actually do. Do you remember?
music, right?
Yes, we talked about music.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say Sean's like Batman.
Yeah.
I
There's
feel
this
like
movie
after,
coming out.
I feel like after this, we should all just sit in like one big table and be super mushy. And don't worry, Phil, we'll include you.
No, I'm good.
I agree. Yeah, it'd be great for us to all get together. We'll go to Kale's house, Kale and Jess's house.
Oh, I
we gotta
like
clean.
that. We're just not welcomed in Europe right now, so let's wait for
That's
that.
true. Y'all gotta get your shit together.
That's true, but you know who has their shit together is me, because I'm keeping track of the scores. And let's go over them now. So, taking up the rear, but finally on the board, Kale and Jess with 4 points.
Ooh.
Wow.
Right in front of them, Marco and Mari with 5 points.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Now we
Yeah,
get to
we
the
can.
really
Yeah, we can.
close race. We have 9 points for Pete and Sarah.
We can't catch that.
No, we can't.
And no, you can, but first let's talk about who's in front. People that talked about music on the bus. Sean and Rebecca have 11 points in the lead.
Damn.
But that's okay, everyone. This next round is worth 3 points apiece, and it's going to get real hot in the kitchen, folks. So let me ask all of you before we go in. Are you ready?
Wait, it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
go in the
Born
kitchen?
ready.
Oh,
My
yeah,
ham.
Captain.
Your ham? Oh,
Let's go.
sorry. For a
Hey.
second, I thought Marco was cooking throughout all this.
Yeah, he
Sounds
is
like-
Kitchen is
cooking.
on fire.
If you put on Tron, my man's cooking. Anyway, round 3. First question worth 3 points. What book, comic book or graphic novel, made your pal fall in love with comic books, graphic novels, and this medium?
I'm so.
These are the questions that get tougher, folks.
I feel like I know this, but
Ooh, it's got quiet, everyone. Because this is where it gets hot and heated.
Don't doubt. Stop. Just don't.
Are you guys ready?
Don't doubt it.
No, wait.
Don't doubt
Yes.
it. Don't doubt it.
I'm going to give you 3 seconds to write down something. So 3, 2, 1, and let's go. We're going to go to the team at the bottom of the board now. Jess and Kale. Jess,
Spider-Man Red and Blue.
Kale.
Identity crisis.
Oh, fuck. How many times have you said that was your liminal piece of comic work? Spider-Man Red and Blue. How many times have you said that to me?
To be fair, 1, it's called Spider-Man Blue. 2,
Oh.
Kale, no, stop.
My man is
You.
well actuallying his wife.
2, to be fair, there are 3, so it was anybody's game.
I really don't think he's getting laid tonight.
Tonight.
Too hot, man.
Yeah. I think I
Damn,
want to get
it's
laid.
too hot.
Right.
That's why we're in round 3, because it's the hottest round of all. We're going to go to the team that's in third on the board right now. Maury, what book inspired Marco?
Come on,
I
baby.
really think it's Swamp Thing.
Hell yeah, baby. Honestly,
Okay.
I will say, like, there's a 50-50 chance with every question at this point.
Yeah, because at some point I also thought maybe he had read like one of those like more like things you read in high school, like Mouse or something.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Damn,
I know.
all right.
I'm impressed with myself right now. Stop it. But like
What a name drop.
it's
Yeah, right?
thank you. But I really like was like fuck it, Swamp Thing. Like why the
Fuck
fuck
it.
not? Alan Moore, just dropping names.
Wow.
I dropped it real
Alright.
good.
Please. Oh, Jesus.
Whoa, I'm impressed. Stop. It's hot.
Oh
Phil,
my
you're
God,
right.
sorry,
This is
did
a
I
hot
call
round.
your ear out? I'm so sorry.
No, that was him. That was all him.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God.
No, I'm sorry. Not you.
Very, very good. Sarah,
Oh,
What's the answer here?
I don't know. I said Superman? Question mark?
No, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man. Oh, this is a chance for some separation. Not in your
I was just gonna
relationship,
write
though.
Spider-Man.
Stay together, everyone.
We're about to lose.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
Rebecca,
Got it. We're on the
what's the answer for Sean?
I was torn between two,
Okay.
but I put Secret Wars.
Well, that's interesting, but also correct because I also put Secret Wars.
What? What?
All right.
Nah,
I
they
just
cheat.
gotta say, I am so annoyed because they are so freaking cute. I feel
I'm
like I
annoyed 'cause
need
they
couples
cheat.
advice.
Ooh. The name of the game now is separation, but like I said, please stay together, everyone. As we move into our second question of round 3. If your pal was a supervillain, what would their scheme be to take over the world?
Oh, I don't even know.
I know. Oh, that's why it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot.
What strategy would we use
well,
to
that's
try
not
to
really
take
a
over?
villain move.
But I'll give you a little extra time to think about this because I'm sure this is a curveball for everyone.
Could you repeat the question, please?
The question is, if your pal was a supervillain, what would their scheme be to take over the world?
I don't appreciate that you wrote something down very quickly.
Honey.
It's a swamp thing.
Always, Jess.
Acceptable.
I'm not really sure
Except
what
it
Swamp
wasn't.
Thing does, but I just, obviously default to it by now. He spent enough money on it, so I figured it must be worthwhile.
Well, everyone's writing their answers. Mario, who do you think Marco has spent more money on, Swamp Thing or you?
Oh, for sure, Swamp Thing. I mean,
Man, you know
wait,
what's
you
crazy?
can't even see it, but that's artwork up there. That's
There's
his prized possession.
That bookshelf is Swamp
Oh,
Thing.
Swamp Thing.
I know for a fact that artwork that you pointed to cost $10.
Tell me more.
What a coincidence. That's how much the ring costs. Let's go to our first couple. Rebecca, what would Sean's plan be to take over the world?
That's a tough question. I put mind control, just controlling people's minds to do whatever he wants.
Interesting. Sean, what do you think of that?
Well, this is unfortunate because I put a very similar answer, but it's not quite exact. I put turn the world's people against themselves.
Oh, telekinesis.
So should have kept it simple.
That was pretty good. Sarah, what would Pete's plan be?
I just put steal Jeff Bezos' money.
Now,
Great answer.
now I'm gonna have to give this to the judge, but I wrote amass wealth.
That's pretty good.
No, if we didn't get Abby Arcane / Swamp Thing whatever.
Word, because y'all bitches knew what I meant.
No, I can't give it to you. It's not similar enough. If it was like steal a rich person's money, I would give it to you because that's in the ballpark.
I'll live with that. We were on the same page.
Yeah, we were close.
Yeah. Okay, Mari, what would Marco's plan be?
Outsmart all the motherfuckers.
Damn.
Marco.
I put mind control.
I don't need to deal
matched
with
Rebecca.
smart people.
Actually, yeah. When Rebecca said that, I was like,
Did we just run out of wine?
not yet.
Oh.
I'm
Look at the bottle.
devastated.
Well, if you guys lose, there'll be plenty of whining to go around. Let's go to our last team here.
So good at
Oh shit, something happened.
She really
Yes.
enjoyed that.
What would Kale's plan be to take over the world?
He would turn into a Zord and go on a rampage.
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's good. Kale, is that
Well,
true?
No.
That's
Too lazy. I would leave instead.
That's very on brand for you, Kale.
Yeah.
Very, very on brand. No one got any points that time, but like in the second round, that was a bit of a tricky one. So all good. Now we're going to move on to the third question here in round 3. We're closing in on the end. I like this one a lot. Ladies, this one's specifically addressed to you. Do you approve of your partner's collecting of graphic novels and general superhero merchandise?
Damn.
Baby, be honest.
Why you gotta be like that?
Putting you on blast.
It's getting hot in here. Now, this isn't a tricky one necessarily, but it could stir up a little tension.
I'm gonna die here.
Is everyone ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Jess, do you approve of Kale's collecting of all these things?
Yes, very much. I buy a lot of it.
Oh, Kale?
So romantic.
Yeah.
Kale said, yeah, she buys a lot of it.
Someone's got to wear the pants here.
When we got married, my mom actually said, "I'm so glad you found someone who would let you buy all those toys and comic books and crap."
Crap. It's good. Sarah, how about you? Do you approve of Pete's just, basement of plastic?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It wouldn't work if she didn't.
No, it wouldn't.
Rebecca, do you approve of Sean's collection of comic books and graphic novels?
So I think he would say no, but I do. But I think he'd say no, so I put no.
Oh no! Oh, this is love.
I put yes.
Oh, no. I thought you would think that I'd say no.
That's so weird.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Looks like the perfect number one couple has something to talk about after this.
Oh,
Just
I like
saying.
Some
like that.
hidden animosity
Oh,
or
wait.
lack thereof.
We should talk about some public animosity.
Ooh.
What might
I
that
could do
be?
that all day. We've got a fucking podcast that goes
Oh,
out
no,
every
no. Our answer.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's right. So, Mari, do you approve of Marco's giant bookcases of comic books?
All right, so technically I wrote no, but then
No,
I wrote
that's-
not always.
Okay, well, Marco,
Not
did you write not always?
No,
I
I
put
wrote
no.
no. And then I
Okay.
wrote not always.
Okay, you wrote no. I'll give it to you.
I wrote no
I
because
will give it to you.
he really thinks I hate it, but it's his passion.
The hard thing is
I can't always be a bitch about it.
Mari
Can't
Mari
always.
doesn't like that Marco worships something other than her.
Oh, how right you are.
And that's kind of that's the crux of their relationship, really.
Yeah, I mean, you mean like it's Mariana or bust, obviously.
Right?
Not something
Yeah,
of us.
for sure. I don't like competing against Abby Arcane because at least I get him lead, Just saying.
What round is this, Phil?
Round 3, we're against Hot in the Kitchen. And boy,
true.
it's sweltering. We're in the days of Augie Doggy.
I'm not even sure I know what that means.
It's August. It's August. Anyway,
August.
all right.
Ask the question.
Our last question here, unless we need sudden death. If your pal could work on a comic book of any character, team, major IP, just any comic book in general that's already out there, what book would they want to work on?
So easy.
If your pal could work on any comic book of an existing thing, what would it be?
Oh wait, I don't know.
No, I really see that team over there with Pete and Sarah really struggling. So
I mean,
I
we're not
appreciate
quite
that.
as much as you, Mari. So I don't.
Oh.
Sounds like Sarah's putting more thought into her answers. That's what I'm seeing.
Intense.
All right, what do you have to say to that?
I'm gonna change.
Yeah.
I trust my gut.
You're
Trust my
second
gut.
guessing yourself?
I'm second guessing.
Ooh. Is it getting too hot in here? But please, everyone, keep your clothes on.
Ooh.
Oh,
Stop
it's
it.
too hot.
Especially Marco, please.
Oh.
how did you know?
You're always ready to strip down a layer or two.
Thank you. I take full credit for that.
That's interesting.
Let's keep him dressed in public. Anyway, is everyone ready for this last set? Okay, let's do it. Sarah, you struggled the most here, it seemed. What comic would Pete want to work on?
I struggled because I made this mistake once during the game, and I went back. I said Spider-Man.
I also wrote Spider-Man.
Okay, the simplicity pulls through.
I would not want to work on Invincible. That is Robert Kirkman's joint.
Okay.
I changed it.
All right. And talking some trash that time was Mari and Marco. Mari, what character would Marco want to work on?
Fucking Swamp Thing, bitches.
Hell yeah, bitch. Yo, so while I was writing this, I was confident that she was gonna say Swamp Thing, so I counted how many times that's been an answer. It's been 7.
Oh my god! Oh my god. Jess, who would Kale want to work on?
Kamen Rider.
Oh, yes. Fuck yes. Kamen Rider.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful. Let's go to our leaders on the board. Rebecca, what would Sean want to work on?
This is tough. I don't think this is something we've ever talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
how
put
the mighty
X-Men.
fall.
No. Don't count them out yet.
Well, I wrote Jean Grey / X-Men.
Okay. Wow! That was the deciding answer.
Yeah.
Pete and Sarah would have won.
Oh,
Son of a bitch!
yes!
Wedding gloves.
Woo!
That is the Newlywed Game. Let's go over the scores real quick, and then we have a little bit of time to hear some embarrassing stories.
Oh,
that
yes.
Sean and Rebecca are not.
It's close.
They don't have to divulge anything, folks. So let's just go down here. We have Kale and Jess, who had an impressive third round and an impressive end of the second round. They finished with 10 points. And let's
10
go
more
over
than I
now
thought
to
we'd get.
Marco Amari, 14 points.
Hell yeah!
Pretty good, folks. Pete and Sarah, 15 points.
Oh, this close, Pete.
And now the king and queen of the Newlywed Game. We have Sean and Rebecca with a whopping 17 points.
Oof, let's get it. Yes.
Guys, give us a speech. How does it feel to have won the game? You were the front runners, and indeed you proved that the first seed always comes out on top.
Well, I hate to say I told you so. No, I'm just kidding. It
You
feels
don't
great.
hate to tell us that. You love to tell us that.
No. I'm just kidding. It feels great. I'm very happy that we won this. This isn't our first time winning the Newlywed Game. We have won this in another space before, so it just continues to prove that, well, at least you know me.
Yeah, okay, for the 300th, let's do the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that.
Good
I
idea.
don't
Episodes of
really listen
practice.
to us. I'm just saying.
Okay. I think we're ready for some embarrassing stories. What do you guys say?
Yes, bring it
Let's do
on.
Winners, who do you want to hear from first?
So the one raising his hand. I really want to hear from Marco and Mari
Oh,
first.
damn.
Okay,
Mark,
guys,
I mean,
give us a story.
Just lay it out.
There's
Just lay it
so
out.
many.
Just
Which
lay it
one?
out.
All right, can I? Okay, so this is also a Pals exclusive. And it's pretty short, but pretty embarrassing. So I really want to tell you guys about our first kiss. So
Fuck yes.
our first kiss was actually on our way to watch Tron Legacy.
No, it wasn't.
Or maybe Harry Potter, unclear. One of our first movies. Happy ending. We ultimately ended up macking at the movie theater, so
That's
it doesn't
true.
really matter. But we were possibly like 17. We're both November babies, so whatever. And so he invited me out to the movies, and it was our first kiss. And I guess he was really like feeling emotional. And at the time, I also had glasses. He had glasses. And so he went in to kiss me, but I wasn't really sure what he was doing. So I moved, and he ended up kissing my eye instead of my mouth.
No.
Oh, that's really sweet.
It was a really, really awkward. I mean, I think at that time he was sort of like my first situation to speak of, and so
Yeah, no one's ever
we
kissed
did-
my eye.
we did end up macking in the movie theater, but I will never forget the fact that my first kiss was an eye kiss.
Nor does she let me forget that her first kiss was an eye
You
kiss.
landed the
Fuck
plane
no.
eventually, buddy. You got there.
It was, I mean, he eventually moved down to the mouth, right? Which was the target of, ideally. But you know, but he, yeah. So that was Marco's first attempt at a first kiss.
When you guys do get married and kiss the bride, Marco, you'll have to kiss her eye like a big
Make
pizza
sure you
pie.
aim.
Oh,
That'd
that
actually
would
be
be so
really cute.
romantic.
Yeah, make sure you aim.
That'd be
I'm
actually
not,
kind of cute.
I'm not
No, no.
super surprised Marco has an eye kink.
Yeah, I mean, he made me read Uzumaki, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
true.
Glad you found the
Yeah.
target eventually, buddy.
I'm glad you found the swirl. Sorry,
What's-
he really enjoyed that. So I can't really like. I'm not even upset. His face was precious. The end, bitches, drops the mic.
Okay, the bitches drop the mic. Sean, Rebecca, who do you want to hear from next?
Let's go with Pete and Sarah.
All right, Pete and Sarah.
She's already laughing. Okay. Yeah.
So, I was gonna tell one, but I think it's too inappropriate.
No,
You gotta tell that one.
That's the
Don't
one.
do that.
Now they're going to
Winner's
make
work.
you. Just tell them.
No,
I'm looking-
Yes.
I'll tell you off
Hold on.
air, but I won't.
No,
tell you
hold on. Sarah? Sarah's parents, stop listening now. All right, go ahead and tell us.
Sarah, I don't accept anything that's not under rated R or triple X.
I can tell a tastefully edited version of it.
Both are rated R though.
I love it.
Okay,
Perfect,
yeah,
perfect.
great.
All right.
I don't
so-
get enough action in my life. Tell me more.
Marco, that's an indictment of you, brother.
Okay, so, when Pete
I'm just kidding.
when Pete and I like reconnected, and we got back together. Well, technically we weren't, like we were we were hooking up. So it was the first time we hooked up, and we were in my apartment, and back when I lived with my friends Mike and Sam, and it was after the 76ers game. They won, and we went into my room because Pete wanted to smoke weed, and I was like, oh yeah, I could totally like smoke.
Wait, what?
And first of all, I got way too high. And I guess my ears weren't really working. So we hooked up right then and there, and we were like, oh, it's okay. Like Mike and Sam are totally like watching TV. We walk out of the room and the TV is literally on mute because they thought we were coming right back out after we smoked. I don't. So like
Spoiler alert: we weren't quiet.
Hell yeah!
And I walked out of the room and I'm like, oh fuck, and I walked right back in.
That's what we're here for.
That's a good one.
I forgot about
Wait, now was that the story you were afraid to tell, or is that
No.
the? Okay.
Ah.
That's the one I need off the air.
I will certainly tell you that off again.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I
Appreciate
think
it.
I've told you guys this
I
story.
think you guys know about it.
Does it have to do with drawers?
Yep.
Yup.
Okay.
Number one.
Sorry, listeners. That's
Wait, I may need to stay.
Yeah, have I heard this
online
one?
for this
We'll
story.
fill you guys in.
Yeah, I'll fill
Yeah.
you in.
Thank you.
but first, Jess and Kayla, you need to fill us in on your embarrassing story.
Oh, is it up to me to tell it?
Yep.
All right.
The rest of the lady pals did it.
You can fill in the detail, and it's mostly on you. Like for me, it was just a bit gross. It's fine. So we were staying at my uncle's place in London when he visited at one point, and basically it was a weird situation, and my uncle Airbnb'd out his place but wouldn't give us much notice, so he just called me like, okay, there's people coming now, you have to leave. So you'd have to leave the key and just go. And so I was taking him to the airport, and again we had to leave quickly and stuff. And in the building, it was a rich people building, so it had a pool in the bottom of it. And we were about to go to the airport, and I think we'd gone for food somewhere that didn't agree with you. And he went, I have to go. Where can I go? And I was like, I don't know, man. You use the pool toilets. I don't know, because we can't get back into the apartment. So,
Kel,
so
no.
we did. So I was waiting at the bus stop to take him to the airport and everything. And he came out and we were being really loving because we we weren't going to see each other again for a while. And we were holding hands, and then he got this look of horror on his face, and he went, and I was like, what? And he went, there wasn't any sinks in that toilet. I didn't wash my hands. And I was like,
oh. Wait, was there
were no
residue?
sinks. No,
Was
God,
there
no.
residue? Oh,
No,
okay.
of course not.
I was
I'm an
paranoid
adult.
that there was after he said that, but I was like, oh my God, oh no.
Oh.
Wait.
And then,
Clarifying question. He held your hand and then told you?
yes.
Well, that was
So
that
he
was when
wiped and then loved.
that was when I realized.
Yeah. It was the look of horror on his face, and he took his hand away and he went, there was no sinks, is there? And I was like,
And then I had to wait a half an hour in a kebab shop behind an entire family of like 30 people who had to use a bathroom that was there.
oh my God. And then after that, so we were still really sad because he was leaving. And then we had to do an airport dash across to see each other because he still had the apartment key. And he was about to get on a flight to New York.
So I got to do the romantic, okay, bye, I'm going through security, this is it. And then I had to do the mad dash
As we
back.
were yelling for each other.
And like, and I kept it romantic. After I
After covering my hands
After I-
with shit.
wash my hands.
I'm just happy you made that joke before I did.
But yeah, I made the mad dash to her, and I grabbed her and I kissed her, and she looked, and I handed her the apartment keys. I'm like, sorry, I gotta go.
2 mad dashes that day.
Well,
Gail.
can you just confirm your shitty hand has improved?
He's washed them since then.
That doesn't mean they've improved.
At least twice.
I don't know. I feel like Jess should really be the judge of that. Jess.
I have a dog now, so
Oh.
we're both picking up shit
So
all
now,
the time.
so now there's no telling whose poop it is.
Oh my God.
Well, do those embarrassing stories satisfy you guys, Sean, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
As long as we
Okay.
get the off-air one.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you for everyone that's listened to this entire edition of the Newlyweds Game with the Comics Pals and the Lady Comics Pals. And thanks for listening to our 200th episode. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure you congratulate Sean and Rebecca on Twitter and on our Discord, and give it back to Sean here. We'll take us through to the rest of the episode.
So, there you have it. You have now heard our Newlywed Game.
Congrats, Sean.
Congrats.
Thank you very much, Sean and Rebecca.
Of course, Sean and Rebecca.
Rebecca's the one who really had to get all the points.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so she's the real MVP, but that's always been true.
Oh,
nice.
I did say that I was going to win. I did say that I was super confident. As it turns out, I wasn't wrong. But thanks for trying. Sure was fun.
I'm just saying. My thing is, I feel like there was a lot of shade. It's like Kale's like, oh yeah, you guys have been together for 2 years. Cool. Me and Jess have been together for 10. I'm just like, I mean, I came in second place, and we beat out Marco and Mario have been together that long. So I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not quantity, it's quality of time. I don't know.
I'll say we went into this expecting to come out at the very bottom, and we came out there was no bar, right? And we came out at the very least third, right under Pete.
It was within 2 points. That's
Like, oh yeah,
true
according to- yeah.
contenders. True contenders.
Yeah, I mean, hats off definitely to Pete and Sarah for making it a game for sure. You guys came very close to winning, and it was awesome. awesome competing with you. Phil, you did a phenomenal job hosting. That was very, very good on your part. Thank you for that. Marco, I thank you for nothing.
What if we just became like a game show network? You know, next 100 episodes are just all game shows.
Games. Speaking of games, they're currently showing off on Fandome the Gotham Knights game that was just announced. It looks amazing.
Yeah, dude.
They're showing some gameplay here. Tremendous. I can't wait for
Looks
this game.
great.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for this. I was definitely right when I said earlier which one was I most excited for. It's this one, baby. It looks great.
A lot of people complained before Arkham City and Arkham Knight about not being able to play as like Dick or Barbara or you know, one of the Bat family members. And so it sounds like Warner Brothers was just like, okay, well, we'll make a whole game of it.
Yeah. The idea of Batman not being in the game is interesting. I don't know how to feel about that quite yet, but I am so excited to play as Batgirl. I can't even tell you.
Bro, I'm sure he's in the game. Let's be real.
No, you might be right. I honestly thought that they were going to be showing off the Suicide Squad game just now, but I guess that's not by them. So.
Yeah, that's Rocksteady proper, who did the original Arkham series. This is WB Montreal, who they did Arkham Origins.
Batman Origins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was the worst received game in the franchise. So
yeah, but lots of people like it. So
I mean, this looks next level. So.
I think this looks sick. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, it looks really comic booky. Like, look at you guys can't see it right now, but they're in like some kind of it looks like they're in like the Alps where Batman trained with like Ra's al Ghul, but like they're definitely in like Arkham.
It's just a building that's like frozen over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was our Newlywed Game. Let us know what you thought about it. We definitely want to hear your guys' feedback. We did that for you guys. It was a ton of fun to do. You know, we played Jeopardy last time on episode 100. We played the Newlywed Game on 200. Maybe we'll be back on episode 300 with Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Comedy!
Oh, sick. We have to build the set for that.
Oh, dude, wait. Here's the thing, right? We get a wheel. We put awful comics on it. We spin the wheel. There's one good book on the wheel. And if you...
It's Onslaught.
Onslaught's the good book? Oh, my God. Masochists.
That's dead.
It is the good book for Marco now, apparently.
It is the good book. But you know what else is a really good book?
The Bible.
The Bible.
Damn.
All right.
That's for
favorite book.
On that note, before we close out, we have 2 more messages from some of you guys that we wanted to share before we wrap this up. So first one up is from Tyler. I will read this. It says, "Hey pals, thanks for consistently putting out a show every week, which I mentioned because I've been there and sometimes that shit is hard. Being on the show a couple of times, I recognize that even though you are just a couple of pals talking about comics because you don't talk enough about them in your daily lives, there's legit work and preparation that goes into what you do every week, and I sincerely appreciate that as a listener. But as a friend, y'all are some cool ass motherfuckers. You all built a real supportive community that's super positive and welcoming. Congrats on 200 nerds. Also, props to Marco for getting me into goat cheese that one time we all went to his place to smash."
Yo,
That is a euphemism.
That is a euphemism. And goat cheese is the superior cheese.
I can't speak to that because all cheese will lead to my death. But speaking of
What a
smashing,
shame, dude.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of smashing, something that has not changed since episode 100 is that video gameplay of us playing Smash still not out.
Still not out.
Still not out.
Stuck on my old hard drive.
Thank you, Tyler. You've been a dear friend and ally to us since we started, literally from the word go. Sad, of course, that you guys, the Long Box, decided to hang it up, but you're always welcome here with us for sure. Yeah, just really, really glad to be able to call you a friend, and I always enjoy working with you from way back when to now. So thank you, man.
I'll say this, Tyler. We're looking to demote Kale. So if you want to come in and be the 5th pal and he goes to 6, let us know.
Especially after this performance most recently. So, yeah.
Right on episode 200, like what a lackluster performance.
Well, I was just talking about the Newlywed Game.
Oh, okay, sure.
Dude, that was, you talk about a fail.
What?
Tyler and McKenna, I bet, would have done better. Just.
What?
Oh my God, dude, that would have been amazing.
Sean's like, competition.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, we got to do it again. I think we just have to do it again.
You know what shit is in their apartment? She knows.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been epic.
Next time.
But we saved arguably the best for last. And by best, I don't mean person. All of you are equal in our hearts. But this message was incredible. And I really am excited for you guys to hear it. It does come from the one and only Ryan, who has been a fan of ours for a very long time, which you're about to find out. He has a very creative way of letting us know what he thinks about us. So, Pete, why don't you take it away?
Hi, pals. Episode 48, September 25th, 2017. Thought of a joke yesterday. 4 comics fans talking on on podcast, muttering about Doomsday Clock, heard following exchange, laughed ass off. Sean, 4 out of the 5 comics pals are committed to at least buying the first issue. Phil, yeah, we don't know about the 5th one. Sean, but he doesn't live in America anymore, so it doesn't matter, right? Phil, yeah, the only things that happen are in America, right? Pete, it's where God pays attention. This was one of the earliest episodes of the Comics Pals I remember listening to, and it pretty much convinced me that this was a ride worth being on. Not only were you guys knowledgeable about comics creators and the comics industry, but you were also funny as hell. I think I mentioned before that my actual intro to the Pals was the episode of the Video Game Pals in which you reviewed Castlevania Season 1. Somewhere along the way, Pete mentioned how much he enjoyed Life is Strange, a game that I was on the fence about playing. Pete's affinity for the game pushed me to try it, and I found it so emotionally affecting that I felt compelled to write in, share my thoughts on the game, and thank you for all for helping to broaden my horizons. From there, I just kept writing in and developing a relationship with you guys. Then we met at New York Comic Con. I wish I'd been there multiple days so we could have hung out more. And when I joined the Discord and began interacting with you all more regularly, I felt like we really became friends. I always enjoy listening to your show. Admittedly, I'd fallen a bit behind on the episodes. I blame COVID and the general state of the world for throwing my whole rhythm off balance. But I've learned about so many awesome books, as well as how the industry works by listening to you guys. The fact that there's a diversity of opinions on various comics and industry happenings among the pals is also great. And I love that you can disagree with each other and continue to pretend being friends. Just kidding. You respect each other and you work really well together. Congratulations on 200 episodes, and thanks for all the great work you've done and continue to do. Sincerely, Ryan Klubeck.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ryan. You were definitely one of the first people to write in. I distinctly remember when you wrote in about Castlevania and when you talked about Life is Strange. You guys that are listening now don't necessarily realize how incredible it is to have people who are, liking what we are doing, to do this every single week for however many weeks. I guess it would be 200 weeks. It'd be 200 weeks. We never missed one. So, and then even the lost episodes that never came out, but for 200 weeks straight, we have done a podcast for you guys. And to know that there are people out there that are dedicated to listening to this, that know us, that know the lore of the show, that know our personalities, our likes and dislikes. Kefis knows that I like Coheed and Cambria. We've never had a conversation about that before. Those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. And it's incredible to have this kind of community. And you guys are the ones that make it. So thank you so much for what you have given us as someone who grew up without really anyone to talk comics with, so isolated from the rest of the world for a long time. To have this now, it feels like a gift, and it's a gift that I'm thankful for every day. My hardest days I get through by doing this show, by going on Discord and having conversations with you guys, by reading the emails and everything else. And I don't know who I would be without having this outlet, without having you guys as listeners, and without being able to share these amazing moments with you all. And so I'm very much looking forward to the next 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 episodes. And no matter how big we get, no matter what happens from this day forward, I will always, for the rest of my life, be thankful for the opportunity to entertain you guys for this long and for however long we get to do it. So thank you so much. And I can't wait for more. Unless anyone has anything else to say, I feel comfortable closing things now.
Yeah, just thanks for making us a part of your week every week.
So that's going to do it for us on another episode of the Comics Pals. Be sure that you guys go ahead and listen to the Swamp Thing Book Club. It's out tomorrow. It's very good. You're going to want to hear that. It's a Marco joint, and I think you guys are going to love it. I know we have a few Swamp Thing fans, so definitely give that a listen. Our giveaway wraps up today. If you're listening on Monday, check our social media to find out who the winner is. And if we haven't already announced it, that means there's still time for you to try and join. So check on social media to see what the situation is. And if you haven't joined yet, please do. We want to make sure that we get to give away this House and Powers hardcover. And so the more of you that have a chance at it, the better. So go check that out. And otherwise, follow us on social media, guys. Hit us up on YouTube. Check us out over there. Subscribe, like, comment. You know the deal. Write to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com. Come join our Discord. Hopefully, if you haven't done those things yet, all of the messages that we have read give you an idea of what it is like on our Discord and the characters that are over there. This show is only a portion of everything that you can get by being a pal. Whether it's the Discord, whether it's the book clubs, whether it's, whatever else we're doing, there's so much more out there for you guys to check out. So please take that journey with us. Come hang out. It's always fun, and we guarantee you won't regret it. So let's do some plugs. Pete.
Thank you guys again for 200 wonderful episodes of the Comics Pals. If you want to get some more content from me, you can hit me up at @loud_Pete on Twitter and Instagram. Go check out my other podcast, the Potscast, where I talk about Nintendo every week. But yeah, just come chat with me about what you're checking out these days. What should I be checking out? And let me know your thoughts about Gotham Knights here, because that's the thing that's occupying my mind share for the next week. I'll tell you that.
All right, Marco.
You can find me at Mr. Marco Nomoto on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys again. Super excited that there are so many Swamp Thing fans in the Discord, and also I think, well, that's more than one, and that we have general, really good conversations about comics, and that's always a great time. I'm gonna be watching more Dragon Ball, so Catherine, I know you're excited about it. Anybody else in that Weeb chat, come join that conversation. Oh, nice. Who is that? Goku?
That's Gogeta, my man.
Oh, sorry.
Gogeta?
That is my favorite thing that you're holding, Phil. That is awesome. I love Gogeta so much.
Yeah, man. Dragon Ball Super Broly, dope-ass movie if you haven't seen it. Maybe we should do that for a Discord night.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Join our Discord to find out. Yeah, speaking of Phil.
That's me. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us for 200 episodes. I mentioned it earlier, but this has been a very isolating time for so many people in the world. And so for you all to be able to join us and to form this such a interactive and inclusive community like this, means the world to me, and it means the world to, I think, everyone here. So, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. yeah, if you want to interact with me, I am at Cyborg Bebop on Twitter and Instagram. And Kale, who of course set up that awesome cameo for us and lost terribly in the Newlywed Game. You can find him at Twitter and Instagram at Toto and Toe and Panels Comics and Gone Global, his whole thing.
Killward.com.
Sean. And Killward.com.
All right. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Hit me up to talk about any of these awesome announcements that are coming out of Fandome and anything else that you feel like chatting about, because, you know, as much as the five of us are pals, you guys are our pals too. With that, we're the Comics Pals signing off for the 200th time. Take care, guys.
See you for 300.
Oh, wait till you see my panel at the DC Fandome, eh? I'm jumping ship. We're gonna make a Tim Hortons movie about my life getting coffee and French crawlers.
Wow.
See, I thought it was going to be Jersey Batman.
Hey, Jersey Batman here. We don't got no Tim Hortons. My Catwoman Snooki.
No. That's it. I'm done.